the window. Some thunder boys and they going off the endo. Where they from? DP's my out on Menlo Park. They go dumb up in them scraper. See them coming up the block.
Bill Clinton going dumb. All out the scraper. Stunner boys here. Mission is the major. Watch your girl before I take her, cause I'm on the strip shining.
We don't move like no block.
But boy, it's big time. And lead a block to my Easter, cause boy, it's big grinding. 20-inch rims. Freaks on film. She eat her, why she eat him? You already know who game tougher than leather. We throw parties that go dumber than ever. Young niggas wildin' out, shaking they dreads. Boy, is you biz or is you smack? Cause you all out the window with a face of a triple stack. I'm money hungry, plus I need all mine. Rigs on the beat, you gon' see our shine. Why you think they call us a dummy foe? Cause we stunt and we stunt hanging out the dope.
They holler who that is, hanging all out the window. Some thunder boys and they going off the endo. Where they from? DP's all out on Menlo Park. They go dumb up in them scrapers. See them coming up the block. They holler who that is, hanging all out the window. Some thunder boys and they going off the endo. Where they from? DP's all out on Menlo Park. They go dumb up in them scrapers. See them coming up the block.
Every time I hit the block, boom, drop the stack time. Candy on them dub things, bumping for one time. I'ma do the fool like I'm mental and ignorant. Jumping at a stop sign while I ain't giving it. Throwing up the block cause you know when I'm feeling it. We ghost ride the whip like we ain't even feeling shit. High feed, call a stunner boy. Tennis shoe every whip, now who's stunting boy? At every function, sideshow, neighborhood event. You catch me dipping in the scraper with the 16-inch flip. Reppin' PA, Menlo, Northern Cali finest. If I'm scraping past a dollar, mean the police right behind us. We don't care, we going on big perp and X pills. Stunner boys, they stunting the block on big wheels. Get big skrill, cause they ain't fucking with us. We in the building and we feeling like nigga with us.
They holler who that is, hanging all out the window. Some thunder boys and they going off the endo. Where they from? DP's all out on Menlo Park. They go dumb up in them scrapers. See them coming up the block. They holler who that is, hanging all out the window. Some thunder boys and they going off the endo. Where they from? DP's all out on Menlo Park. They go dumb up in them scrapers. See them coming up the block.
I got a few of my young niggas all out the window. Stunting up the block, niggas know what they info. We did we smacked, our rims are stacked. Plus we smoking on that perk, we leaning back. They know we coming up the block, holding the meanest stats. When you stunt like them stunners, you get mean with raps. Candy paints on the model, we mean at that. Bumping nothing less than 15s and holding us at.
And we'll teach you how to stunt. All through the bay, we ride candy and bump. When we come, the show shut down. No field goals, all touchdowns. Police come, we get goes down. High speed and run them through the whole town and get away. I'm not locked like Akon, supercharged kick, running on stop
They holler
sign.
who that is, hanging all out the window. Some thunder boys and they going off the endo. Where they from? DP's all out on Menlo Park. They go dumb up in them scrapers. See them coming up the
Okay. Y'all know what it do. Y'all know what this is.
Yeah.
Another installment of Easily Rigged.
Easily rigged.
Shout out to the Brody Big Rig Slaps, and I'm joined by one of the homies. I'm glad he came through. My boy Joe is in the back. I'm gonna bring him up, but we gotta do our little introductions first. And so, what you gotta say, Big Rig?
I'm just chilling, man. Going through some allergies right now, so it's a little
Oh,
rough.
so little rough, bro. I already know you can't. Could you breathe through your nose? Are you having difficulty breathing through your nose?
I cannot breathe through my nose, brother.
Bro, I'd rather have an ailment. You know where you had like the pain and your muscles be throbbing. Give me that over not being able to breathe through your nose, because that just be
Man,
like torture, bruh.
going to sleep at night, bro. You sleeping with your mouth open, dried up. You know what I'm saying? Just as bad.
Just when you talk, you can hear the difference. But it's a couple things. You know what a neti pot is?
I don't.
So it's basically they got different methods that they do, but it's basically a method. They have a specific pot, but you like pour it up your nose, and it goes all the way up to your nose, and then gushes out the other nose. You usually some people use like salt water and other thing to like break up that mucus, bro. Because trust me, bro, that's one of the things that I just simply is like torturous to me, is not being able to breathe. I could take some pain where my muscles is throbbing and I'm sore and it's uncomfortable, but it's nothing like the not being able to breathe through your nose, bro. I can't even sleep. Do you do the one where you ain't supposed
Oh
to do
no,
this, but sometimes you stuff like a little tissue, stuff like a
I'm
little
doing that
tissue.
right now, brother. I'm doing that right fucking now. That's why I am not cammed up.
I was just about to say, where's your cam at, big dog? Where is your cam, big dog? That's
It is not
wild,
to be
bro.
found tonight.
And like I said, my boy Joe the Go came through and he said it was good. And actually, I'm gonna just bring him up right now because I know I think he's on a different time zone.
What's good?
What's
Oh
good
no,
with the guy?
my hair
You got
looks
the
like a
Fonzie
mess.
jacket on? What's up with it, Joe?
Hey,
Salute, brother.
thank you. Yeah, I
So
actually met Be Easy from the Amazing Lucas channel, and he hit me up and asked me to join today. So I'm excited to be here. So
Well, I'm
yeah,
glad you
and we
joined, brother.
excited to have you. Yeah, Joe is a smart guy, and
I would hope
he's
so.
yeah, he's trying, or you wouldn't be up here, brother. And I know he's making his transition, to the Midwest. But we're both just like Lucas. We're out in Cali, but we in the Bay Area. And you currently, what state are you in right now
Right
again,
now I'm
Joe?
in Idaho, so I'd be in the same time zone actually. So yeah, it's
Okay.
right
Oh,
beside
okay. Oh,
Washington.
actually,
So like I'm in
okay,
the
cool.
top
I
of
didn't.
Idaho, so I actually am closer to Spokane, Washington. So it's I actually work in Washington but live out in Idaho. So
Oh,
it's what
wow.
I'd be doing. So I'm switching between two states every day. I'm not sure if you've ever like had that before. It can be a little bit of a mess when you're doing like W-2s if your employer messes it up. If you're working in another state and they're not pulling Idaho taxes. So I ran into a
Well,
couple issues.
I commuted through a other state. So basically in California, if you can where I'm at, I can make it to Reno, which is Nevada, in 3 hours. So I wasn't working there on the books, but I would take a drive pretty frequent, it's really 6 hours, because you got to count the round trip, 3 hours there, 3 hours back. And so I would do a lot of work in Reno, but it wasn't anything. Let's just say a lot of it was contractual and under the table, and I'll just leave it at that. So I didn't deal with
Okay.
the actual, you know um taxes of that. But I'm sure that would be a
Gotcha.
nightmare for IRS because IRS is always looking for a reason to
Yeah, one year they
delay and
took
deny.
out they took out like $1,000 of tax returns, and then my employer had to make a revised W-2, and it was just a
Bruh,
circus.
I think I actually need to do that because literally they just did, they just got me for like 1,500. So I'm gonna have to do an amended
And I'm
return, and
sorry.
do all this stuff. Yeah, bruh, that's how they are. They're designed to go after, what they consider the little people because
Right.
the the major players, they have accountants, lawyers, so that it's people
And
like
they
us, they
can
expect you
also
to.
subsidize taxes and get tax write-offs all the time because they have people employed to do that. So,
Correct. Yeah, they cook the books. They say,
right.
"Hey, Joe, you want to be an employee?" They fill out 1099s. They put their kids on the books. They also do nonprofits. Most these millionaires have nonprofits, and you think, "Oh, wow, they're
Right.
doing such philanthropic work," but it's just mainly to just funnel money.
Right. Yeah, not as generous as it appears. So,
Definitely not at all. It's not even generous at all. If once you really get to the brass tacks of it. But but yeah, so we had a topic that was going on tonight. I'm gonna play another quick intermission before I get into the topic, but I want to set the topic up, which is, let me just bring it up because we got this. First of all, if you are in the chat, let us know. Represent. Let me go back. Of course, we up here with the my cohort, Big Rig Slaps. Joe to Go is up here representing
Yeah, yeah.
Idaho. And then John Sin Different has pulled up. Also, M3 has pulled up. Anyone else that's in the chat, let us know what's happening. But this is an installment of Easily Rigged. And, every time we get into these topics, we come at them from an unexpected angle, a more complete and nuanced angle than people just yelling and screaming on panels. So I'm going to just, hold on, let me just minimize this. But the topic is why y'all keep talking the same ish, and also what we want to do is like, just because there's brilliant minds here, so if we gotta drop, a S bomb, a F bomb here and there, that's cool, but let's keep it at a minimum. You know what I mean? Let's just refrain from that, not because I care about censorship, but mainly for the YouTube algorithm, but mainly for your own mental algorithm. It takes a certain level of discipline and control and intellectual maturity to be able to refrain from those words. So, I come from the gutter. I produce all music that has, let's say, a litany of vulgarity, but there's a time and a place for that, so that's even why we preferencing it, while saying why y'all keep talking the same ish. When you say ish, which word I'm referring to. Sugar Honey Iced Tea is the acronym. You know what I mean? So let's just be, more assertive and better with our oratory skills. So, Joe, I'm gonna come straight to you. Hold on, look like someone joined us in the chat, and we got none other than Raw B Privilege. Shout out to Raw B Privilege. She is a content creator herself, so go
Salute
ahead
to
and
Raw
check
B.
her out.
Salute to Raw B.
She always cooking up some unexpected stuff. So Raw B Privilege in the building. So Joe to Go, man. Joe, man, you have a lot of crazy stories in this YouTube streets, and I don't even need you to
oh please
we
no.
no, that's I was like, Joe, spill your guts. Nah, I'm just joking. Like, our private discussions that we have are private, but once it's public,
Right.
we try to have the public general surface levels conversation so that we can help assist people and avoid certain stuff. But when I say, why do you keep talking the same ish? What does that mean to you? Now, let me preface this. You can go any direction that you want because it doesn't have to be reserved only to YouTube. It can be something with your family. It could be someone on YouTube and panels just doing the same type of stuff. It could be society or government. Why do people keep talking the same ish? What you got, Joe?
Well, I'm thinking there's a lot of things that come to my head. Um, as far as like, I think a lot of people like to maintain the status quo. They don't necessarily like to be challenged or really evaluate what they put out there in the world. So I think positivity and a good headspace, a good mindset helps you in professional fields, and how you conduct yourself is a big part of being successful. So that's pretty much how I see it.
Okay, Joe, I like you with that politically correct answer. You came with the thriller jacket, but you knocked it out of the park with that question. But I liked what you said about conducting yourself. I want to tap into that a little bit more. When you when you said conducting yourself, what exactly level
Hold
of
on, be easy. I
conduct
gotta stop you.
were
Be
you
easy. Hold
referring
on,
to?
bro. Hold on, be easy.
Yeah.
Hold on, Joe. I'm rocking with you, bro. But
Thank you.
you don't gotta play it safe, pimping. You know what I'm saying? You do not have to play it safe. So I mean, go ahead and just do your thing, bro.
Well,
Answer the question however you want to answer it. You don't gotta play it safe. You know what I'm saying? Just do your thing.
I mean, how
Basically, he's saying it's a safe space. You don't need to
right?
and I know, Joe, this is definitely his demeanor, but Big Rig, this is our podcast, and we just definitely want to make sure that don't you don't think that you have to not fully express yourself,
Gotcha.
whatever opinions you need, because even whether we agree or disagree, this is your place to express.
Well,
Just want
usually,
to make that clear, Joe.
yeah, I gotcha. Usually, as far as YouTube goes, the way I like to evaluate things is I like to make it applicable. So, like, that pretty much anybody who comes by can really can see themselves in your shoes, because there's a lot of specifics in trauma that I carry, that I've had throughout my life. Therapy, I've been diagnosed with certain mental health disorders and things. There were certain times where I was just when I was living out in kind of like the hood. Some days it was all like you didn't know if your classmates would be at school tomorrow. Because sometimes tragedy would struck, somebody would die, but I think a lot of people, when it comes to trauma and certain things, if you bring it up, they'll try to change the subject or try to avoid the topic altogether, because it makes them uncomfortable, because they haven't really been through something as traumatic as what you're bringing up. So it makes it very, very difficult, because when you're dealing with like difficult situations or difficult topics, you can go about it by going like a very blunt route and tell them all the gory details, or you can make it vague so it can even apply to people who haven't really been through something as quite traumatic. Following me?
Very
Yeah, no,
well put, bro.
Yeah, no, I'm
Very well
definitely
put.
following you, because it's also a little difficult to tell, right? Because I know, Joe, that you've been through a lot of stuff, currently and in the past, and some people, it could seem like they don't care, but sometimes they don't really know how to approach you, right? Because some people are just kind of probing, they just want to be messy and know what you're going through so they can kind of dox you, right? And then there's some people that genuinely want to know what's going on with you so I can offer some support or anything that I can do. But how do you really know who is genuinely there for you unless you open yourself up. And then if and when you open yourself to the wrong person and situation and you get burnt,
Right.
essentially scorched, now I may be a genuine person, but you're closed off to me, and the help that I'm trying to give to you, you're not receiving it, and you're not even valuing it, because you, in the back of your mind, the last homie burnt me. Actually, the last 3 or 4 homies burnt me. How is this dude going to be any different? And it's a kind of a toxic way of thinking, but it's also a coping mechanism too, because you don't want to get burnt again, right? But in a way, you're kind of passing judgment, which we all do. I'm not saying it's right or wrong. It's just kind of innate that we pass judgment, and it's typically in the negative way, right? You're going to pass judgment. And if I say, hey, Joe, I'm going to be there for you, there will be a point where you trust and be like, cool, he's going to be there for me. And then you'll start to think about, yeah, the last 3 dudes that screwed me over said the same thing, you know? So it is a very fine balance, you know, and it can even drive you even more insane or distressed once you kind of put all your emotional eggs in a particular basket and somebody just crushes those eggs, you know. They act like they care about what you go through, Joe, Big Rig, or whatever, and then they use that same information and weaponize it against you, you know. So it's a lot, you know.
It is. Well, to expand off of that, and the internet is very, if we're talking about just figures and what I've dealt with, it's very complex to figure out people's motivations, because a lot of people are self-interested and will try to help you because that's their brand. You know, they help people out. You know what I'm saying? So then it just makes it does make it like walking like on eggshells to an extent. But when it comes to like mentorships in general, online and offline, the main thing is you have to kind of, every human being is flawed. So like sometimes when a mentor makes a serious mistake, it's really devastating. And it can be, if it's devastating enough, it's like, I don't know if I ever knew this person. Like, was he truly who he said he was? You know, that type of thing. But, you know, I think that sometimes people have good motivations in the air at certain points, but, you know, at the end, it just all falls apart. It just depends on who you're with, what they were thinking. And a lot of times you cannot tell motivations. You can just tell who people are by their actions.
Yeah, I mean, that's all you really could go off of is the action. And Joe, in that scenario you described, maybe it was a teacher, a coach, or something, and you basically said there could be a situation where you come into question this person's character, integrity. I'm just kind of paraphrasing, right?
Right.
And now you have to think about, hey, was anything that this person said true? So what I just want to ask you, in that scenario, what if you come to find out, okay, this person wasn't who they purported themselves to be, but they still taught you some invaluable lessons? Would you like, what would be your approach to those lessons? Like, would you still have some disdain, or would you just say, hey, look, I don't like this person. Yeah, they may have been a fraud, but these lessons are still, you know, something that, you know, help me succeed or survive in life. What do you think about that?
Well, I had a really good friend recently, who just dropped off like the face of the planet, you know, just ended his social media contact and everything, moved from the town he was from. And I hit him up, and he basically said that someone that was also like my mentor did something really, really bad. And it's an allegation that I can't confirm or, you know, verify. I have no way, because the victims wouldn't come forward type of situation. And he was just a complete wreck, like a completely different person, like unrecognizable, you know. And a lot of his character and the person I knew was basically gone at that point. So, like, how you would rebound from a situation like that is important. And I do think he's getting better, which is good. But, you know, I'm unable to actually visit him in person. Um, but for the most part, how I see things is that everyone can teach you something or give you something valuable. A lot of times we learn things from our enemies or from failure. So from that reasoning in itself, even if, you know, something goes sour, there's still something there potentially. I mean, how I see things, if you lose like someone that you're really close to like that, is oftentimes you have to, how do I, you have to evaluate and look at their flaws to figure out what areas potentially they may have been leading me the wrong direction versus what areas that they use that made them successful in certain areas and actually could help me, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, I hear exactly what you're saying. And that's cool. So let me move on to Big Rig. Big Rig, when you hear that, man, why y'all keep talking the same ish? What comes to your mind first?
Complaints. A lot of complaining, a lot of blaming. Um, I'm tired of hearing, you know, people just blame problems on everything in the world except for themselves. And it's just getting to me, man. It's like, it's not really, I can't say it's not that hard, but I guess it just really takes a lot for somebody to really look at themselves and start trying to self-correct. You know what I'm saying? And just I just get really, really tired of just the complaining, bro. And that would be pretty much the same ish that I would have to definitely be like, why do y'all keep just talking about that, man? Why y'all keep doing that? Why y'all keep, you know, pretty much making the same mistake, but then you want to keep talking about it, you know what I'm saying? But you're not making any different move. You know what I'm saying? All your moves are still the same. It's crazy. And that's with all kind of things, man. That's from real life. That's from YouTube life. You know, the whole, we all see it, you know, from all this relationship stuff, and you know, it's cool and fine and dandy, right? But it's the same thing, man. You know, and it's like, what's going to be the solution? Because there's a lot of blaming, bro. Again, you know, it's the blame game. Oh, it's on the man. Oh, it's on the woman. You know, and that's just with that part. That's the YouTube life. But then just in regular life, you know, people complain about just all kind of things, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure you got a couple of partners or friends that kind of always make the same argument. And you kind of just want to be like, hey, man, damn, man, you know, you always bringing this up, but, you know, what are you doing to correct it? What are you doing different? Oh, well, you know, and then they're going to blame thing again. So, you know, that's where I'm at with it, man.
Yeah, what I always say is, when you dishing out the blame pie, it's always enough to go around, but someone got to get the bigger slice, right? And people always want to give someone else the bigger slice of the pie. You know, if it's a pizza, you want the biggest slice, but when it's the blame pie, I always want to give the biggest slice to Rig or Joe or to anyone else that's not me. But see, we all got a slice, which means we all got a piece of the blame. So if we over here bickering and saying, yeah, but you is 50% to blame and I'm 47% to blame. Like, come on, bro. Like, you know, you need to focus on that 47% of why you messing up. Why are you pointing a finger and trying to say because you were more to blame, or you're trying to make an argument? Let's just say that I was more to blame. How does my excessive blame absolve you from any of your personal responsibility for your blame, you know. And that's what people try to do. They try to point fingers and say, hey, look, I'm blaming this person because this is what they did, and that may be true, but they always forget to leave out what they did. Right? When you point one finger at
That's a
somebody,
fact.
it's always three pointed back at you. So if you're gonna blame somebody, first blame yourself. If you haven't put your house in order, your life in order, your responsibilities, and held yourself accountable, it's very hypocritical, contradictory, and pretty asinine for you to be trying to call other people out, you know? Because yeah, it may be cool to call some people out, but somebody else is going, you know, they gonna check you, you know what I mean? And it may not always be physical, but you can get checked intellectually, you know what I mean? You
But
can get shut down.
not everything needs to be called out. You know what I'm saying? And there's a lot of people that feel that they have the need to always try to correct somebody, something, somehow. You know what I'm saying? And that can also go into that category too, bro. Like, why you keep talking the same ish, bro? Like, why are you worried about what they doing all the time? You know what I'm saying? That has no bearing on your life. You know what I'm saying? Or what you're doing day to day. But yet you're always bringing this up like they got like rent in your brain. You know what I mean? Free. You know what I'm saying? Just all day long. You know, it's just it's really wild, man. It's really wild, and it's just
Yeah, and
go ahead.
okay, no, I just want to add this because, you know, of course, we like to bring accurate information over here, and a lot of this stuff is common sense, even though common sense is not quite common. But when it comes to why people keep talking the same ish, there's definitely psychological studies that show, no one has to take my word for it, just do some searches, and I'm gonna list off, you know, several reasons why some people like to argue and continue to talk the same ish over and over. So some people, one of the reasons some people take things personally, and some people have a reason to take things personally, you know, because we all go through something. A particular topic may be near and dear to someone's heart, and they have an emotional investment in the topic. But this is where people be getting off where they mad at, but also where they bad at. Why are you taking something personal when I have a general discussion, right? And that's why we try to build with these discussions, but I don't need to know Joe's explicit details about everything in his life and the ongoings of his life, because now we're making it too specific, and that's kind of like a polite way of doxing. Any information that's volunteered, then we can, you know, we can discuss what people are willing to divulge. But when people are taking stuff personally, now you taking personal shots, talking about people's wives and all this stuff. Why are you even getting that mad over a random stranger that they triggered you so much that you hurling slurs at people's wives and bringing up kids, and you
Yeah,
talking about taking
that's
money
wild.
out of your kids' savings to pull up?
Yeah,
What are we talking about here, bruh?
man, what are we
So
doing
that,
here?
and so actually I'm gonna just go. I got 11 reasons, but that was the first one. Taking stuff personally. So I'm gonna just set it up for y'all, and then y'all can just give a quick commentary, and then I'll just go on to the next one. So with the so let me just say this: many people take arguments personally, and as a result, they do their best to win them. Right. So when you taking it personally, now it's kind of like a grudge match. It's an argument grudge match. And now, because I took what Joe was saying personal, instead of trying to listen and be reasonable, I need to win this match. I can't let Joe beat me. Like, it's not about him
Right.
beating
You
you.
just listening
Either
to
he's right
respond.
or correct. So in that particular scenario, people see them losing, And then let's say they already have a disdain for a certain person. Okay, I don't mind losing an argument, but I definitely don't want to lose one to Riggs, man. F Riggs, man. I ain't trying to lose one to him. It's like, bruh, if
Man, I'll
what
lose
he
one to
said was
anybody else
true,
on this panel, but I ain't losing one to Rig.
but we've seen that people do take these arguments personal. Joe has seen it countless times on plenty of panels that he's been on. Big Rig has seen it too. So I'm gonna go back to Joe and then Big Rig pick it up. So could you speak on that, Joe? Why people
Yeah,
take things
absolutely.
personal?
Yeah,
And you don't
I've
have
been.
to.
I'm not going to use
I was saying you don't
specifics.
have to limit it. Okay, yeah, I was gonna say you can use specifics, but you don't really need to, and you don't need to
I don't
limit
need
it
to
to
name
like a
names.
panel. Yeah,
But
exactly. Right.
We don't
what's
need to
going?
name names, but we can name drop. We don't, you know what I'm saying? Anybody can
Yeah,
get it,
yeah. No,
man.
that's what I'm saying. I don't mind. You feel me? Like, but I already know Joe is a drama-free guy, so I'm just telling him it's definitely not
For the
I'm
necessary. You
drama
most
could
free
part.
too,
still
bro. I'm just,
point
you
of.
know, I'm having a blast.
I think it's really easy to humor drama when it becomes about entertainment. So then, I don't know. If you treat it like a joke, it's very easy to humor it. But what I've learned is a lot of cases when you have like hate channels going after you and type of things, like you'll treat it like a joke and think, man, they're not really serious. And next thing you know, it's like, oh shit, somebody's trying to dig up your full name. Um, so what I find is you do not respond to the haters. I think that's something that took a long time to learn, because people online will sometimes say defamatory things simply because you have different beliefs, different values, different political views, and that can be really scary, especially if you really care about your moral character, your image, and what you put out there, and you really want to influence and help people. If you don't have a good image, it makes it harder to do that. So it can get really intimidating. I think as far as discourse online, a good way to actually be successful in this space is attack the argument and not attack the person. So if you're in politics or discussing politics, even though this probably isn't a political channel, but I'm just using that as an example, it's always best to just look at their views and then say, bring up counter arguments to their views. Once you start throwing insults anywhere, back and forth, calling somebody an idiot or something, things start to devolve and become personal. And I understand that it's a very polarizing time in society, but it definitely helps contribute to an audience when people are not hurling insults and they can look at people's perspectives. So that's kind of how I see it. That's my sense.
Yep, I agree with that. Go ahead and rock out, Big Red. About people taking things personally.
Yeah, I gotta agree with Joe, man. You gotta,
Because Big Rig, you seen some ish, boy.
and that's why I gotta agree with Joe, bro. You know what I'm saying? I done seen stuff in real time that just had me like do the emoji eyes. You know what I'm saying? I'm just like, come on, man. But you gotta attack the argument, bro, not the person, man. You know, like people, they really they take things real personal. You know, when I'm on here, I just try to have a discussion, bro. I'm not trying to, you know, take anything really to heart. You know, if it's hitting me, then I'm a really just kind of like listen and see what they talking about, and then be like, damn, you know, this person was kind of on the money with that. I might need to go ahead and switch this around a little bit. You know, that's kind of how I always go into a discussion, bro. But what I notice is a lot of people, they don't like to be told anything. They like echo chambers, you know what I'm saying? They like people to just agree, you know what I'm saying? And then if you don't agree with them, then you know they want nothing to do with you, or you know they try to get a posse to like not deal with you, you know what I'm saying? And it's one of the coldest things I've ever seen. You know, we're all grown, you know what I'm saying? But yet it's a lot of elementary things going on, you know what I'm saying? And again, like what Joe said, you may think, things may be like, okay, these cats, they just kind of wilding or whatever. And then the next thing you know, they trying to dox you, you know what I'm saying? And get your information, dig up your past, whatever, and then blast you. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like, what are we doing here? You know what I'm saying? And I never took this as being a space like that. But I mean, I ain't even been here like 2 years strong, bro. And I done seen things where like I would not give no type of information to none of these cats, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, we can do panels, we can have a discussion, but as in like really trying to, be cool with a lot of these people, man, it's all fake and it's just all content, bro. And it's like, as soon as you say something that they don't agree with, you will be their content. You know what I'm saying? And it just sucks, man, because with spaces like this and having all those followers, and
you will become their
bro,
content. Absolutely,
you will become their content, bro.
It's crazy. Yeah,
Bro, the way you just laid that out, you'll go from friend, and then they'll turn you into a docu-series, bro, with all of the content.
Straight up, bro.
It's wild.
Bruh,
it's crazy.
It's funny, but it really ain't, bro, because that will get somebody seriously hurt. If I start doxing Joe, talking about, hey, look at his mom. I've seen people talk about people's health conditions, talk about people's wives, people's kids, people's dead homies and stuff like that. Look, I don't know where people come from. Wherever you come from, if they get down like that, then more power to you. I don't come from an era, an environment where stuff like that just goes tolerated and unchecked or without reprimand. And I'm gonna just leave it at that. I don't promote that type of stuff because I know how serious it is. I know how barbarous and how savage it could get. So people need to be promoting the opposite of that, and a lot of these reasons, which are psychologically studied and tested, and this is all to tie into our topic of why y'all keep talking the same ish. We give open-ended topics here so that you can't just nail the topic onto one particular aspect. Is a very nuanced and could be convoluted because of how many angles and the different discussions and rabbit holes that a nebulous title like that could spark. But so the second reason that I want to touch on a little bit more is it kind of goes into the first one of them taking it personally, but this one is slightly different. Them wanting to be right. And if y'all know, RIP to the late great Kevin Samuels, him and other people, I know he definitely popularized the sign language, and the acronym is shame, insults, guilt, and the need to be right. Many people want to be right, so they don't care about what's right and wrong as long as they are proven right. And that desire to be right motivates many people to argue. And kind of what Joe was saying earlier, I know he was using the politics as a reference, not going completely political, but when you hear people, you know how many ignorance that we've debated and dealt with, or interact and engaged with Joe, and how many times are people saying, dude, you're a radical Republican and you just want to, delete kids. And then other people are like, you're a leftist and you're trying to push this trans agenda. And whether it's true or not, people, they want to be right. So now they're attacking the person because if they could slander your character, they actually could win the argument, not based on the facts, but based on the popularity. And it's kind of sick, right? Joe could have all the facts, but if I paint him as, some suspected pedo, which is not even true, but just the allegation, well, people will be like, I don't even want to hear anything he has to say. And by the time the allegation is proven not to be true,
That's that posse
His
thing I was just
reputation,
talking about.
his reputation is already tarnished. Big
Right.
Rig, you already know. If I tell some high level people on the street that Big Rig is snitching, by the time it get around the hood and you get a chance to try to clear your name, bro, you're already branded a
Yeah, you bad.
snitch, and it doesn't even mean that you actually are. Yeah,
Shout out
and
to
then
Ti.
it's like if you and look, you, bruh, shout out to Ti, and then peep this, Big Rig. In that scenario, if you don't speak up for your name, then it's like, oh, we know it's true because he ain't even standing up for
He ain't even
himself.
defending
Then,
himself.
Right.
then
Wow.
if you defend himself, then they gonna say hit dogs holler. Look
Right.
how
Why
hard
you
he
why you
defended
giving it so
himself.
much
He
attention?
wouldn't be going this hard if it wasn't true.
I got a lot to say on that.
Come on, bro.
That's a fact, though.
Okay, go ahead, Joe. So I'm gonna go to Joe and then go to Big Rig again. But the way I set it up is them wanting to be right, shame, insults, guilt, and the need to be right. Go ahead, rock out, Joe.
Well, the amazing Lucas, he was the guy that I met and really started to get me active on YouTube through his platform, the panels. I would say he is probably one of the most disliked political commentators simply because he flipped his views over time and sort of changed. And a lot of his old audience kind of turned on him. But one thing that I see frequent is since he's a pro-black platform, you have a lot of people who try to pin him as somebody who hates white people, a racist, and he just wants people to kiss black people's feet, and just disheartening things that I hear about him all the time. And this dude has really helped me out and contributed and provided a platform that contributed to me becoming healthier and better as a person. And when someone helps you evolve like that, and there's just so much negative stigma around his character, it's just really frustrating. And a lot of that comes from people who want to defame him, so that way his points have less power. So yeah, it's with the internet in all spaces online, I think it's very evident and clear that when you remain anonymous, there's less consequences to your actions. So I think a lot of the things that you laid out that you said were basically very inappropriate back in your time, I think they're still very inappropriate. It's just that we have a space where people can get away with things without consequence because they are not standing in front of you. Like if you talk out of pocket and punch someone, then that could, that could happen in real life. It's like that can't happen on the internet. You cannot physically hurt somebody, but you have people trying to debate you constantly, trying to do harm, as much harm as possible in some cases. And they'll find means to do it without taking any form of accountability, and that's scary. So,
Joe, let me ask you this: have you ever been? I kind of know the answer, but just for the audience, and you don't have to be super specific. Have you ever received threats on any social media platform? It doesn't have to be this one, and where they threaten to pull up on you and do bodily harm to you. Has that ever happened to you?
yes, I'd say so.
One time, multiple times?
I'd say that you could say multiple times, but there was one person that was really that seemed serious about coming after
they
a lot
really
of the
hated you?
panelists. Yes, I had content that was being produced on me, and everyone else on the panel for about a good 7 months. I did confront him, but when you would bring up our conversation, he would change parts of the story. And of course nobody was there, but his audience had confirmation bias. They already had a side, and that side was against Lucas. So everyone that was underneath Lucas, it was easier. They figured out it was easier coming after us than it was to get a response out of Lucas. So what happened was that they
Oh,
started.
he was collateral damage.
Yeah, I was collateral damage. This guy essentially got hung up on a Lucas live, and he still to this day makes content, but I think he's sort of tamed down. It got to a tipping point where I met a guy and he literally got his phone number and he's providing me personal information on this guy, and he's all like, hey, you want to participate in just filling up this dude's voicemail and giving out his phone number? I said no, and that dude later regretted it and apologized, and then brought up the fact that I chose not to partake in that. So I think that's why he left me alone.
Hold on, Joe. I gotta nail this one down. So what were they proposing to do to like keep calling the dude until his voicemail box was full or something?
Yeah, and then handing out his phone number via Discord and other social media means. So essentially, to dox him.
Bathroom walls.
Not just that, full names, stuff like that, some of his background. But I refused to partake in that, and that was somebody that was a part of his community, and it was his friend that essentially was heading the charge, and then just figured out that the guy that was a part of the community was acting in bad faith, and then apologized to him. So
what was the motivation behind this doxing and hatred towards some people that was at one point, the people were part of the same community? Do you know what was the motivation?
Well, you need to look at any community that is around hate. Essentially, somebody is all like, this is going too far, this needs to stop, and disputes happen, and they're only there they're kind of bad people to begin with. So you have bad people that are there to hate and cause havoc. Eventually, division can be sown within, and just it can devolve, because then you start having crabs in a barrel mentality. Somebody's blowing the whistle, and the next thing you know, we don't do that here. So that's kind of like how I perceived it, but I really didn't know the full context of what was going on there. And the dude's friend of the man that was part of the community apologized, so clearly that dude was acting in bad faith, I think. But yeah, it was just wild.
For sure. Thanks, Joe. I'm gonna go to Big Rig, and then I'm gonna come to Mr. Best if he prepared. So Big Rig, the second one that we at, why they keep talking the same ish is because a lot of them, they want to be right. They want to be right at expense of the truth. So it doesn't matter if Big Rig is saying something truthful. I need to win this argument, so I'm gonna do and say whatever I need to attempt to win the argument. So could you speak on people just wanting to be right? You feel me? Family members on the panel, whatever scenario you can give us. Rock out, Big Rig.
Pride and ego. So a lot of people's pride gets in the way, and depending on where they come from, like what kind of communities they be around, or they peoples, whatnot, they may be, that person, you feel me, that always is like, oh yeah, he always says the right things, or she always says the right things, and then they get into an environment where somebody is a little sharper, a little bit more on point, but they can't deal with that. You know what I'm saying? They ain't ready to bow down. They ain't ready to be like, you know what, I was wrong, or to be like, you know what, I think what you're saying is a better idea. That's that pride and ego, and I see it a lot. And it's something that me myself, I don't have a problem saying I don't know something. I don't have a problem saying I was wrong. I don't have a problem with any of that. And it's almost like a gift, bro, because when you see people that show that, like, damn, man, this guy, he he just gonna keep going. Like he gonna bring up a whole different scenario just to try to make his point. Like he right, you know. It really makes you just really sit back and just be like, wow, man, you know. It'd be real simple to just be like, you know what, man, I was wrong. You know what I'm saying? Or you're right. You know what I'm saying? But it's that pride and ego. And I really put it on, you know, a lot of people, their background and where they come from. You know, maybe like I said, you know, the people that they're around, you know, they may be top dog. You know, they may be the one that has all the right answers. But they didn't know that their answers is really kind of crap, bro. You know what I'm saying? And it sucks, man. It's just that pride and ego, man.
All right, cool. Thanks a lot, Mr. Best. You ready? If not, I'm gonna just go on to the next one, and then I'll get you on the next round.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining Knowledge and Relationships. All right. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe. You know what I mean? For your support, like and subscribe to Intellectual SoapBox. Follow all of us on social media. Okay. You know what I mean? BZ that do, big slap salute. You already know that's a family. Jokes ago, great to meet you, brother. You know
Great to meet you.
Just followed you on IG. You know what I mean? We will definitely connect on IG. You know what I mean? For further content and different things with our team. But let me say this. You know what I mean? You know, as Big Rig was saying, some people are always trying to have the right answers, right? You know, and some people always do have the right answers, like myself. No, I'm joking. Right? I'm wrong sometimes. But with that being said,
bro, you undefeated.
No, that's Lola. I'm joking.
Hold on. Now I'm doing a hold on. You know what I'm saying?
You know what I'm saying? Now listen. That being said, right? Now, I've never heard Big Rig's tone this way. I've never heard him sound so serious before ever in my life. But it's because what's going on out here is serious. It's very serious. You know what I'm saying? And I think this is the thing. A lot of people are not understanding what you put out here is a reflection of really who you are. It's a reflection of what you're doing to other people. It's a reflection of your relationships and how you treat other people and how you really get down in this world. You know what I'm saying? But people don't understand it. They just think that it's just funny games where they can say whatever they want. They can just hide in their little rabbit hole and nothing will ever happen to them. You know what I mean? So, also, salute to the channel, our channel for reaching 3 years. You know what I'm saying? As of yesterday. Salute. But definitely salute to M3. You know what I mean? The whole team, everybody here. You know what I'm saying? But this is the thing. You know, what makes best in the world? You know what I'm saying? What makes me is the fact that, you know, I will always do my best to make sure that I'm giving you a message that is beneficial. Now, I may joke around. I may sometimes, you know, mess around people and kind of, you know, shoot the dozens or troll a little bit. You know what I mean? But that is all in good favor. You know what I mean? And usually, you know, when I make a joke, everybody's laughing. We're all good. But doxing, talking about people's family, their friends, their social circle, their character, who they are as a person, these things are not beneficial. You know what I mean? Nor do they help anyone. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, are we creating content or are we creating controversy? What are we creating? You call yourself a content creator, well, what's your content? You know what I'm saying? Where is the substance of what you're creating? You know what I mean? Or is it just all for show? Is it all for you is it all just to make yourself look a certain way? You know what I mean? And the thing is that gets me is that as people are creating this content, they're not seeing how destructive it is, or neither do they really care. You know what I mean? You're not seeing the lives that you impact. You're not seeing the families that you hurt. You're not seeing things that you do. You know what I mean? To really hurt people. You know what I mean? That really degrades and puts people down. You know what I mean? People can even may want to delete themselves or go into depression because of this. You know what I'm saying? And you're not even seeing that. This is probably this person's safe space. They may create a YouTube channel in order to have a safe space and let their voices be heard, and now you're ruining that for them. You know what I'm saying? And people are not seeing this. You know, then you join their family, so you don't know none about this family member. You don't know what they're able to do and who they are. You know nothing about these people. You know what I'm saying? But people are always flying out here like you're Superman and Superwoman until somebody tugs that cape and we find out that you're really a human being. You know what I'm saying? So that's the problem. At the end of the day, you know, what are you creating? And are you creating things to, and here's the thing, here's the kicker, right? All of y'all always say that y'all are part of helping out the community. You always keep saying, I want to help the black community. I want to help this community. I want to, but when it comes down to it, your content doesn't show that. Your content doesn't show that at all. And then you may do 1 or 2 segments about helping the community, and then the rest is a bunch of trash, complete trash. You know what I mean? And then it's always centered around, you know, people being in the lowest form, the lowest vibration of people. That's why I have my Black is Gold series, to show you the highest vibration of people. People actually making strides. People actually are doing things and have done things to show that us as a people and people overall have greatness in us. You know what I'm saying? But if we are always focusing on the lowest common denominator of people, and then you focus on your lowest common denominator of people, you don't even know why they even are subjecting themselves or living these type of lifestyles. You don't know what this person is going through. You don't know what trauma they're going through. You don't know if they lost any parents. You don't know if they have an illness. You don't know anything about them. You know what I mean? But you are bringing out the worst in people. You know what I'm saying? And at that point, people have to make a stand, and I'm definitely taking a stand. You know what I'm saying? With me, I don't dodge no type of anything. Okay, so if you want to battle me as a content creator, we can go bar for bar. You will not win. Okay, I'm just letting you know that you're not going to beat me. Okay, just letting you know that off top. So you can try, but you're not going to win. All right, so because I actually create content, I'm actually creating content, and I'm creating things that are beneficial, things that are helpful to others. You know what I mean? And that's what I stand on, and that's what what people need to stand on. Leave all that negativity, man, to the side, man. It's not helping anybody. You know what I mean? If anything, it's affecting people in the wrong way. You know, and then you don't really. And here's the thing: if somebody finally attacks these people and really goes at them, you know what I mean? That's when they sit up there and they're all sad and they're all, why me, and all sort of stuff. And you created all of this negativity. So now you're reaping what you sowed, right? You say you're ready for it. Now it's coming to you and you're not ready for it. You know what I mean? With that being said, be easy going to do your thing, brother. I'm here.
I like that 84.
Okay,
like
cool. So, but before we get into it, we just want to do the things proper. So
I think it's time for that intermission.
yeah, hold on. We gotta throw up the happy anniversary for the channel. 3 years, 3K subs and counting, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
a lot of work to do. Came this far, but still got really far to go. But you know, we gotta celebrate and take times to congratulate each other, celebrate the small victories, everyone that was pivotal and foundational to the origins of the channel, the genesis of the channel, and even now. So shout out to M3 and everyone that was involved and had a hand in this, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Couldn't have done it alone. And also take the time to say happy birthday to none other than Miss M3, the lovely K Marion. Happy birthday.
K
So go
Marion.
ahead and represent K Marion in the chat. We also been joined by Late to the Fallout, and she asks, I know this was for when Big Rick was talking, does ego equal pride? And she says this seems deep. Every time we talk, it's gonna be deep, you know what I mean? Deeper than an Olympic pool, because everybody else keep talking about the same ish. Very shallow. Everybody else keep talking about the kiddie pool. This the Olympic pool over here, 20 plus feet. So yeah, everybody is showing love to K Marion. Happy cake day, happy birthday. She says, woohoo, 3 years since yesterday. Shout out to the Genesis and the new crew members. Yes, you know what I mean? And she says, what I'm getting from him is I'm better. I create, so come for me. Honestly, I don't know what
I think she's talking about 84.
I know he said a lot, so I don't know. I'm not even gonna try to decipher that one right now. But appreciate the engagement and the commentary. But let me just go ahead and pull this down real quick. But once again, happy birthday to K Marion. Anyone else that had a past birthday or you got a birthday coming up that we might miss and forget, but we won't forget about you. And we're going to get into a little bit more of why people keep talking about the same ish. But let me just hit y'all with a little bit of friendly intermission. We got 8 people in here in the building, and y'all can be anywhere
Yeah.
doing anything, but you chose to be here with us. I know some
Rocking
people are
with
on
us.
a time difference and 2 hours, 3 hours ahead, so we definitely appreciate y'all staying up.
Definitely.
So let's go ahead. You are now tuned into another installment of Eazily Rigged on the Knowledge and Relationships platform. Your viewership and support is immensely appreciated, and for that, we thank you.
You are now tuned into another installment of Eazily Rigged. Be easy, dad dude. Big Rig slaps 2 of the dopest to ever do it, you feel me? Put some respect on their name.
Fire. That's all I got
That
to
was
say.
fire. That was fire. Let me
Right on, bro.
be easy. Let me address something real quick. So late to the fallout. I mean, appreciate you being here, but I don't think I'm better than anybody. You know, I'm not better. I'm just am doing things better. But I don't think I'm better than anybody. I got flaws. I mess up. I make mistakes. You know what I mean? I yawn. I stretch. You know what I mean? I stink just like everybody sometimes, and I smell great like everybody else do sometimes. I'm just a human being, man. If I hit my hand hard enough on something, oh, guess what? It will bleed. Okay? I'm just a regular human being, just like you. That's all I'm saying. But you know what I mean? It's just the fact that I am doing things that are better. You know what I mean? I'm not doing things that are negative. I'm just asking people just to not be negative. That's all. That's all I'm saying.
Thanks for that clarification, Mr. Best, because I'm going to move on to Joe, because I know Mr. Best is going to have a lot of stuff to say, because, bruh, I've only gave 2 reasons why people keep talking the same ish. Let me get into the third one. People just can't give up their wrong beliefs. Some people develop certain beliefs, and in order to maintain psychological stability, they argue. Instead of arguing to find what's right, they argue to protect their existing beliefs, like cognitive dissonance, right? So if someone already has a preconceived notion that all blacks are criminals, rather than looking at historical atrocities and manufactured things that and hurdles and barriers, they'll look for information on 4chan and Reddit and Twitter and all of the dark areas of the web to confirm their bias. They'll look for information and say, hey, look, this black person killed this person. Oh, or George Floyd wasn't a saint, because they want to believe that black people are innately criminal. I'm just using this specific one. Of course, there's many scenarios that people could use, but people do not want to give up. Some people do not want to give up their wrong beliefs, and they'll fight tooth and nail to try to convince you that their wrong belief system, their wrong orientation is actually right. So Joe, you can was that enough for you to pick it up from there?
Yeah, I can get a vague response, but first, I'll go into. I recently, the other night, posted a YouTube short from a documentary that was made in the 1960s called Crisis in Levittown. And what this documentary was is essentially you had this guy who went around this town interviewing people and getting their reaction to a black family moving into an all-white community. So I was reading comments, and I've posted, it's a whole series of shorts, just clips from that documentary. And one thing that I got that was really interesting is a lot of people would want to say, hey, it was 7 years ago, it doesn't matter. But in the same videos, I'm also getting comments of, well, before there was black people in these communities, there wasn't crime in 2023. Like, it's crazy to me that you have people who want to say this wasn't yesterday, it doesn't matter anymore. But in the same way, I'm getting comments saying that black people and minority groups, when they move into certain communities, there's a general increase in crime, property values go down, just all types of things. And it is very concerning that people do have these beliefs and values, and it is something that I hope to address. But I do think that having these comments out there, even though people are liking them, which is quite ridiculous, it does start to start ringing alarm bells, because people need to see this, that racial relations in this country is still a serious issue, and it needs to be addressed. Racism is an issue. And no matter how many people try to divert that and say, I don't see color, there is somebody who very much does. And we need to quit diverting that topic. When it comes to beliefs and values, I was raised in a very Christian home. I myself am a Christian, but my parents were ministers. So when it came to my upbringing in certain things, it took a while for me to recognize that certain things were not beneficial to me, because I had really, really nice parents, really good parents that I very much respect. But sometimes it's like you have barriers of just trauma and certain things that you don't want to reevaluate things because of the implications of what that could mean. Something I was raised with is always to protect the family image. Because of that, when I had certain conflicts or issues, I was scared to tell my parents that I did something wrong. And, because of that, I grew up keeping a lot of secrets. And, it was certain points, certain devastating things happened. I couldn't tell anybody. And, that is something that you have to realize is your upbringing matters. And, having to come to that conclusion was not, it took a while. Definitely took a while.
Joe, I just want to ask you real quick. So are you saying that there were certain things that you didn't come forward with because you didn't want to kind of be ostracized, or to kind of make your family look bad, or a combination of both, or either?
Well, the image, the self-image was very key, because when you're dealing with church environments, specifically, I don't know, Christian, very conservative sects, little things would start gossip, would start drama, which is not my fault. It's a heart problem amongst the people within the church. But with my dad and certain things, he knew this, but his general belief is that you kind of have to walk people to that direction. People are flawed, and it sometimes takes time to get people to change. But the inconvenience of having to deal with, a reputation all the time. Reputation, my image was just pivotal, like pivot. I can't even talk. Pivotal, and there was always fear of coming forward because I'd be told God didn't like this, or I was fear that other people would find out, and then I would get ostracized at church. So I often kept secrets.
I totally understand, and I'm gonna come to you, M3. I just got a couple more questions for Joe. And Joe, so I know because I got a homie from Boise, and I definitely know that it's not really diverse out there, in terms of race and ethnicity. But in church, was there any diversity in terms of class with the church that you went to? Because some people, because even white people have their versions of like riff raff or pookies and ray rays that they call like trailer trash or rednecks or something like that. So I'm saying, when you went to church, was there like a separation, or were y'all all going to like the same church?
My
a
dad,
separation of the classes.
right? My dad is definitely a guy who can just be welcoming to everybody. So I've always kind of saw at our churches just separation of class and people from different backgrounds. Definitely, since I'm in Idaho, I'm in specifically North Idaho, so it's a little, it's a bit away from Boise, but it's definitely a majority white population. I will say that. But it's I don't know, as far as like church culture and things, I do think that churches are being challenged right now. One of the main issues that a lot of churches have is it's ingrained with a very conservative culture, where it's become so fused with politics that just a lot of times, if you're a Democrat, you do not speak out and come forward with your political views. You're oftentimes silent in fear of intimidation. And I do think that sometimes a lot of these right-wing views, such as different ideas, such as like white replacement theory, which people do in fact believe, they have these ideas of immigrants and people in minority groups that are very much concerning and do not reflect how I think people should see God or Christians or the heart of God. So
Thanks for that, Joe. I appreciate that.
not
We'll
to
have
get
to have
religious for you not religious people, but that's just kind of the culture.
Oh no, we just had a religious topic a couple days ago. So
Oh, really? Okay. All right.
yeah,
Well,
it actually what was that topic?
fantastic.
M3. What was that question that you had posed about Eve?
Wait. Okay, say that one more time.
What was the Monday's topic about Eve? What was
Oh,
that question?
so Monday's topic, right, was did Eve really have love for Satan? Basically, according to mythological theories, did Eve cheat on Adam with the devil, and then bear seeds with Cain, without Adam really knowing that Cain came from the devil as opposed to came from his seed. So those are all kinds of theories based off of that.
Yeah, so that was our topic on Monday, Joe. So we try to not talk the same ish, sprinkle in a little bit of the same ish, but from a different and a broader perspective. You know what I mean? So I'm not one who likes to harp on religion, but I do see value in having discussions that kind of bring up and incite religions at specific points. I don't like conversations based solely on religion, but using it as a reference point, or
Right.
breaking down certain parables and things and
Yeah,
scriptures.
all that's applicable to everybody to a degree.
Correct.
You don't have to be religious to analyze the Bible or theology. So
Correct. Yeah, I agree with that. So
I
let me
wanna
go to
I wanna say
M3.
real quick before you go to M3 real quick. Easy, be easy. Joe, you have 201 subscribers. I subscribe
oh,
to
I
your channel.
appreciate that.
You know what I
Thank you.
mean? Definitely you can subscribe to our channels, man. We appreciate it. Knowledge of relationships and intellectual soapbox and everything else
I'll look
everybody
into
does.
it.
You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Definitely we will really, really appreciate that, bro.
I appreciate that. Thank you so much. I'll definitely check out your guys' channels and subscribe. So
You're welcome, family. You're welcome. Go ahead, be easy.
Yeah, Joe is a good guy. That's why I had to bring him through. I definitely love to pick his brain. He's a cool dude. But M3, how much of the show have you tuned into?
I tuned in quite a bit. I was a little bit in and out, but I get the concept about people that be talking about the same ish. That's why I came up there for just a minute.
Okay, cool. So let me just run through and shout out the sixth boss in the building. And of course, we already got all of the lovely ladies that's in the building.
Shout out to the six
It's
boss.
balls. Salute,
And
fam.
I would
Salute, salute.
shout out. I would shout out Don GQ, but he ain't even supposed to be here. So, no face, no case. No face, no case. And he says, so what are we discussing tonight, my brothers? It says, why do y'all keep talking the same ish? It's an open-ended question. We trying to figure out why is people keep talking the same old same. People keep talking about passport bros. Why are women so masculine? Why are black people criminals? Why y'all begging for reparations? Etc. Why you keep talking the same ish? It can be positive, negative. There's multiple ways that you can go with it. And M3, I've already listed, and these have been psychologically studied reasons. No one has to take my word for it. Look it up. But these are psychologically studied reasons that why some people like to argue and why people like to stay on the same ish. The first one I gave was that people take things personally, so people will be triggered by these arguments. They take them personally. So they'll be in the chat and then they'll start attacking M3 because you speak in generally, but they think that you're talking about them specifically. The number two one was that they want to be right. The acronym: shame, insults, guilt, and the need to be right. The third one that we were on was people don't want to give up their wrong beliefs. Once they've been fixated on the wrong and toxic belief so long, when you tell them what the truth is, they don't want to move on from that. So they'll fight tooth and nail to maintain that belief. And this is the fourth one. So you can do a rundown of all the ones I listed, or you can just pick it up from the fourth one, where people, they don't want to seem, and a lot of these, they're kind of like correlated to each other, but the fourth one is they don't want to seem agreeable. So some people don't want to be seen as agreeable as like a yes man, especially males, and as a result they might object or argue just to prove that they have a different opinion. Some people argue just to argue or have a contrarian view, or some people say, let me play devil's advocate, not because they truly want to play devil's advocate. It's just because they can't just bask in the fact that Joe or M3, Queen, or Mr. Best, Big Rig said something correct, right? I have to challenge M3. Not everything needs to be challenged, right? So if I say 2 + 2 is 4, you don't need to try to come with a retort to try to prove, is he really right? Well, how do you really know that it's 4? Like, come on, bro. We don't need to, there's certain things when people give their opinion based on no empirical data and no context, challenge those things. But there are some things that just do not need to be challenged, and certain opinions. If I say pineapple goes on pizza, you don't need to try to convince me that it doesn't. I'll eat my pizza with pineapples. You eat the pizza that don't got pineapples. There. Now we not arguing with each other. Don't try to persuade me to think like you. I don't want to be a yes man. They already got AI, robots, and clones. I'm not a clone. So don't try to make me that. So M3, I'm coming to you. Out of those that I listed, how do you want to pick it up? Of why people keep saying the same ish. They take it too personally. They want to be right. They don't want to give up their wrong beliefs, and they don't want to seem like they agree with you. Rock out, M3.
All right, so like I'm gonna go with like why people excuse me, why people keep talking about the same ish, along with the need to be right. I'm gonna start with the need to be right real quick, okay? And salute to Sister Anya Nia. So even though these people, okay,
Salute to
on this space, will probably agree most of your topic points, but because they just love to talk, they love to ramble, they're gonna try to say something right to make you feel like you're wrong and they're in the right. And it's kind of funny, man, how people they be operating like in a space, because sometimes the arguments are not even that necessary. But I think people are so focused on being right all the time, they miss some people. They miss the key points of like, okay, coming in together and just saying like, hey, like, you're right, let's move on, or we're both right on something and we can relate. But I think people, they just like to run their mouth, and sometimes people are talking out of thin air, and they don't know that really you start conflating from one point to the next point. And then when the challenge comes, you kind of forget what you're saying a little bit because you're so busy rambling. Now, I want to also address this, though. And we'll go back to why people be talking about the same ish. So most of the people that be talking about the same ish, okay, especially like in this YouTube space, they always talk about the same old rhetoric, which is like one of like the most common, like number one topics: man versus woman. You know what I mean? And every space that I go, is always a topic about gender wars. And even though that topic does get the majority of views and it gets people going, but it's like, okay, without those type of topics, or let's say, for instance, what if, okay, a group of men and a group of women finally comes together to be in peace? What's going to happen to your YouTube channel? We can no longer talk about those type of issues.
Preach.
And yet try to egg it on.
Preach.
So if you don't have a diversified type of channel, your channel's going to go to ruins. And I've seen people who who gets caught up in the beef sector, or at least who try to dab into the beef sector. Yeah, you'll get that dopamine, in your viewership, just by like maybe 1 or 2 other videos. But after, when the beef ends or the war ends, then everybody else that tune in just to see the beef, they're gonna go somewhere else where they can find some drama that they can watch. And your channel is just gonna be like, being ruins, just like anyone else. So I'm gonna put it like this, right? I'm gonna mix it in a little bit, Eazily, right, and Riggs, right? A little bit of money talk. How often, right? If you go see like a tax preparator or a financial consultant, one of the main things they'll say is like, make sure that you have make sure you diversify. Let's say you got like a good bit of money, you know what I mean, to save or you want to invest. They're gonna always tell you diversify no matter what. And as content creators, that's what we need to start doing. Yeah, we've been there before. We talk about man versus women too, or whatever. But at the same time, we don't just try to get stuck over in one topic. Even if we know that's going to probably get the most viewership. We just have to think about the growth in the long term and the longevity. Because I'm telling you, all that stuff is going to end. And if you don't know how to do anything else, man, you might as well just get out of YouTube because obviously, naturally, you just suck. And that's just real talk. So,
Okay, M3 came and dropped the hammer, and I gotta say salute to the Brody Don GQ. He said he just broke 40K
salute.
subs this very minute, fellow. So salute
Hey
to the
man, that's
brother.
dope, man. Salute to you.
A lot
That's
of
dope,
W's
man.
today. That's great.
Yeah, a lot
Salute,
of
salute.
that's a lot of W's. My boy Joe just hit over 200 subs. He hit 40K subs. So it's like we on the rise,
Yeah,
his
I think I'm still
birthday's
at
going on.
133. 133 going hard.
Man, I'm at 200 something. Yeah, something. I don't know. I think Joe, I don't know if you up to my stuff, but
I did.
okay, cool. Yeah. So then just drop your channel in the back chat, or just hit me on the DM and Instagram, and I'll definitely sub. But yeah, we all gotta sub to each other, help each other out. And I'm gonna go to Queen, but M3, I know you pressed for time, so I gotta let you cook a little bit more right before I go to Queen, because I know um I know it's a little, you kind of like Mr. Brian, I know it's like a bedtime rub. But M3 is a hard working man, so we gotta get his rest, bro. But another one of the reasonings is that, and a lot of these are always, they kind of like they tie into each other. So one of them is a self-esteem boost. Some people kind of get a self-esteem boost by trying to argue with each other and also making threats that could go unchecked, right? If you M3, I'll pull up on you. You know what I mean? I could say anything, right? And I get somewhat of a self-esteem boost if people in the chat are agreeing with me, or if if a dude was a nerd and he was, never able to bully people or pump his chest, but he can get online and virtually bully people. I think a lot of that has to do with a lack of low self-esteem, because if you really was that guy, that girl, that dude, that boss person that you saying you are, you wouldn't need to put on this act and this facade. So M3, could you talk about how why people keep talking that same ish, how a lot of them are suffering from very low self-esteem? And if you disagree with that, then state your piece. Go ahead, M3.
All right. So a lot of people, right? If you're in this YouTube space or not, have some type of self-esteem issues, because we all have some type of insecurity that we wish we could just bury. We wish that we could forget. But let's just say the high degree of insecurity plays when people hop on YouTube. Well, you have to understand, all right? Some of these men are damn near incels in real life. Some of these women, right, will never get like the right man that they want, no matter how many simp options that they carry. So there's a lot of frustration that's going on in people when they come on these YouTube spaces. So they just come to pretty much like project. Most of these people, they don't really have a life to begin with, without YouTube. And if you take that away, who are they? Because you come up there with your persona, pretty much. You come in there with your persona, your avatars, whatever that you want to just name yourself. Okay. It's like we come into space, you pretty much have a new life. Unless if you're really, really that slow, you just mess that up as well too. Okay. It's all about reputation. You know what I mean? And if you could carry that reputation that you could be like the baddest person on the face of YouTube, then that's you making that convention. I'm sorry, making that convention. So people are just very insecure creatures, and then that's just what it is. They come up there talking about how many women that they could bag, and how many people approach them on a daily, knowing damn well that we know that you're capping. You know, and I always say this: if you're the type of person that talks about you could get so many women, why are you here trying to learn how to pick up women? And where's your true social skills at? Okay. And look, I'm not even going on women tonight because I honestly I don't really care about them like that. You know, if you're not my spouse, get out of my house. That's how I look at it.
Okay, hey, I gotta put that on a shirt. shirt coming right up, and I
Yeah, that
like
was
that.
pretty good. That was pretty
That
good.
was some
That was
fire.
exactly. I'm like M3. I thought you was tired, but you seem woke. You seem woke today. Okay, shout out to M3. And so I'm
Hey
gonna go
man, I
ahead
took
and
I
move
took
to the
my power
point, but I
naps.
just want to touch a little. Okay, but them power naps be saving the guy, bruh. But I did want to touch a little bit on why the self-esteem, because these things actually do give people self-esteem boosts. So for
Mhm.
one, if you are on a panel and you actually win a debate, it's like, yeah, man, you feel a little bit smarter than you actually are because you win a debate, and it doesn't mean that you aren't smart. It's just when you win a debate, it is a very euphoric type of feeling that thinks, man, I want to debate some more, kind of like a Pringle. Once you pop, you can't stop. Once you kill somebody in a debate, you like, man, I'm ready for the world. Who else you got for me? But even on the flip
Mhm.
side, when you're losing debates, if you can center the debate around your talking points, you get a self-esteem boost as well because you think that, hey, the world revolves around me. We're only having this panel because it was my topic that I came up with. I started this discussion. So whether you bring in any relevant information
Well,
to the discussion, as long as you can get boosted by saying, hey, is it basically a participation trophy? Go ahead, M3.
what be easy? Let me just ask you this though, right? And my bad, I forgot to like even add that point into it. Where people like okay get that euphoria right for winning in certain debates or just saying certain things to make sure they stay right and get that self esteem boost. This is the way how I want to just kill them. Well, delete them, right? Not physically, but mentally. Is it worth burning bridges just to be right? And once you burn all your bridges and all your resources and reliabilities, who are you going to argue with? See, that's what people are not really thinking about. Everybody's trying to win in something, but yet you're still losing. And that's how I just let it marinate. Because honestly, it's not even worth trying to argue with someone who's already set in like that wall mentality. It's like I'm talking to a brick wall. So why would I be talking to myself? You know, why would I be arguing with someone that already has a notion that he or she don't want to listen anyway? So I would rather see my way out and let you continue doing your talking. If that boosts your self-esteem up for like 15 minutes, I'll give you your 15 minutes, you know. But for 23 hours and 45 minutes, I'm gonna continue to win in real life.
Got you. I like that. M3 coming with the fire today. Queen Forever, you still there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. How much of it have you heard the full discussion, or you was just chiming in?
Bits and pieces.
Okay. Well, basically, we're talking about why y'all keep talking about the same ish. It's pretty open ended. A lot of people have been making references, to like the YouTube streets and the panels, and even sometimes in your own neighborhood or your own family politics. And we've went through a few reasons of why people typically like to stay on that same ish. But based on what you heard and whatever comes to your mind, just take it whatever direction you want to go. So when you hear, why do people keep talking the same type of ish? what comes to mind to you first, Queen?
That they're stagnant and in the mud in their own life. Because in order to move forward, you have to be moving forward in real life, real time, right? So you don't see somebody running in place. When they running, they going somewhere. So yeah, I just think they're just stuck in their real life. So they just like staying stuck. That keep saying the same thing. You ever talk to someone you ain't talked to them in months and then or weeks and you talk to them, they saying it's literally you can press pause and regurgitate everything they're about to say. They're about to say the same exact thing they said to you 2 weeks ago.
That's funny in Queen. I'm glad you said that because I got a good buddy of mine and he does that and maybe you can tell me, Queen. I don't know if you got experience with this, but what do you like? Do you just tell them straight up? Do you not answer the call? Do you say, bruh, I don't want to hear this same story over and over? Because sometimes people be so passionate and it seems like they just need to vent, right? And I know there's some people that they just want to vent and get that same story off your chest, but you know, when you're on the receiving end, it's like, bruh,
Well,
you tell me the
if it's the
same
same
story every
story,
time.
if it's the same story and different characters, you know, I would say, so how can you move
Now the
differently?
characters be the same. The
Yeah,
characters
okay,
be the
well, then I
same.
would say, you just told me that. What's going on? Like, why are you stuck? Why are you choosing to stay stuck in this?
Well,
What's
well,
going
well,
on
well,
with you that you can't let this go?
okay, I'm gonna
What are
tell
you
you,
not
Queen.
talking
You know,
about?
without divulging, this is what he says because the same characters, one of the characters happens to be his baby mom, and I tell him, hey, look. Every time you call me, it's the same story about what she is doing, what she ain't doing, what she put you through, and he's saying it's affecting him, right? And I understand because it takes a lot for him to admit this stuff. But
Mm.
then when I do give him the pushback that you saying, Queen, his rebuttal is that, man, it's for the kids. I can't leave my kids. So every rebuttal that I give him, he always kind of shuts me down with, and I can't tell a dude to like, hey, bro, you need to leave your. I'm not telling him to leave his kids, but that's how it always gets taken. Like, look, you need to get out of this toxic situation, and he
Well,
takes his ass. I'm
you
not
can
leaving my
also say she
kids.
gonna keep doing the same thing because you're still coming back. So in order for you to be the change you want to see, move differently. You can still be there for the kids, but being in toxicity is not helping the kids. It makes the situation worse because you're not giving them 100% of you because you're not 100%. You're not, you're unhappy, but you're faking the funk to give to them. But kids are not stupid. And that's what parents need to understand. Kids look past the bullshit that you say and they look at what you do. So,
Okay, hold on. Hello, my name is Sheree. I'm kind of like not new, but new to the panel tonight. Based upon what she was saying, number one deal, I never thought my kid had the compassion of what she saw. We went over to one of my friend's house because their dog is dying. We've had this dog in my house for quite a few years, but they've recently moved out and the dog's no longer here. So we went over there and I was totally fine. Did not even cry. I was cool. Until I saw my child's eyes and the way she welled up. And I said, you know what? She's fine. She has compassion. That to me meant so much. Just seeing, like, the second she welled up, I welled up. And it's when you get to those type of instincts and those type of situations, you don't know what's going to happen. but it means so much when it does. Sorry. I just wanted to put that out there because it's such. I didn't think she had it.
All right, but look, we gotta stay on topic,
Like, I
Sheree.
don't care about
Yeah.
anything happening.
We gotta stay on topic. We gotta
Coco.
stay on topic, Sheree.
Yeah, let me put the rule.
Hold on. If it's up, then it's stuck, man.
Perfect
Yeah,
timing, man.
yeah. Let me put the rules out there. So when people come up, all right. So Be Easy and Big Rigs are the hosts, right? So when I'm letting you guys up here, I'm expecting for you guys to like kind of like stay on topic. So maybe let Be Easy or Riggs like kind of guide you into the conversation. But I just want to say this in general for anybody that's up here. Make sure we stay on topic. Let's not go off the rails, and let's not interrupt each other. If that does happen, I'm gonna have to drop you guys down and send you guys back to the YouTube chat. Just want to make that clear.
Yeah, and it's nothing personal, but it's just, we just it's for the viewers. It's for the viewers. And I mean, and that's for anybody, if I'm off topic, feel free to drop me and anyone else. But now that we got that established, I think we could go ahead and proceed. And I'm gonna go ahead and so Big Rig, you still there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah, based on what you heard, go ahead and rock out. I really want you to touch on how people are getting, talking and about certain things, kind of to boost their self-esteem, kind of boost their clout and their digital and social status. Speak on that a little bit.
I think again, man, that kind of goes to their lifestyle, right? So a lot of people, man, in real life, they don't really have too much going for them, bro. They probably don't really have, a lot of communications and stuff with people and a hell of a social life, and they get up into certain spaces or around certain people that aren't really familiar with them on like a day to day, and that's what they do. They boost themselves. They say things that really aren't true, but how would we really know? You know what I'm saying? And it's almost like a one up. You know what I'm saying? It's like you can have a conversation, and then you got that person that always kind of like outdoes what you just said in the conversation. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like, wow, man. Let me live. You know what I'm saying? It's like, if that person's talking, give them their respect, let them do what they do. It's not like, hey, yeah, man, I was out there in the bay and caught like, a couple fish out there, and I'd be like, oh man, I was out there, last month, man, we came back with boatloads of fish, bro. What was you doing? You know what I'm saying? Just it's really funny, man. You know what I'm saying? That's really all I can really speak on about that.
Yeah, for sure. No, I know what you're saying. And that's almost like some high school stuff, Hey, look, I got these Jordans. Well, I got 2 pairs of Jordans, you know what I
Right.
mean?
You know what I mean?
Hey, I went to this country. Well, my passport stamped in 6 countries. Like, come
Right.
on, bro. Like, you don't gotta make everything a competition, man. But Mr. Best, you still there?
Spanish creature, where did you get them from? What's wrong with my phone? Yes, I'm still here.
Okay, cool. Yeah. I just wanted you to chime in a little bit. Pretty much another element of why people keep talking the same issues. Sometimes people try to keep a discussion going and just keep the wheel spinning, and kind of like Queen said, they kind of like running in place, right? Where it's like, hey, here, let's go take a run. And somebody says, all right, cool, let's just go get on the treadmill. nah, we still kind of running in place. Let's go get further and run and go see some type of fantastic voyage. So essentially what a lot of people try to do is they get in that comfort zone and they find reasons to stay there. So let me say it, for instance, where you know how Mr. Best brought up people earlier talking about how they love the black community and want to build the black community, but they purposely have arguments and debates and discussions that are very regressive and reductive. They don't progress anything. They don't push anything forward. So how could you say you care, but your conversations are not providing any solutions? You're asking questions that don't have anything to do with anything. You bringing up straw man arguments. You're going down rabbit holes, and it's like they're intentionally sabotaging the discussion so they don't have to do nothing. So then they can say, see, man, the community is just dysfunctional. No, you making it dysfunctional with your behavior and your conduct. It's not that it's just inherently like this. You're contributing to what you're complaining about. So, Mr. Best, could you talk to that a little bit? How people say that they want a specific outcome, but they keep talking about the same ish and sabotaging the supposed outcome that they say they want. Does that make sense to you?
Well, it does. Well, most people have to understand. A lot of people are on YouTube for money. They're not on YouTube because they're trying to spread a message. They look at this as a play, as another income for them. I've even heard, you see what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Big Rigs. I heard a lot of them say, this is another way for me to, another income for me. This is another way for me to make money. So that's why they get on this thing and they're on these platforms and they push these talking points and all this rhetoric and everything else, because they're on here trying to make money. They're on here trying to make income. They're not here to actually try to help you or to be there for you. That's why I tell people, do not follow anybody on YouTube, especially don't even follow me. Don't look at me as a leader or anybody to guide you or anything like that. I am not a professional. I am none of those things. I'm not a legal therapist or a financial guru. I have none of those things under my belt. Okay, I'm just a guy on YouTube who likes to have fun, who likes to, mingle with people and like to build connections with other content creators, and that's it. And I love the people who support me. You know what I mean? I love other people who support things that are positive, and that's about love, and it's about, pushing the needle forward and giving and trying to give a sense of, guidance and entertainment, right? Just a sense of it. I'm not saying that I am the standard for that, because I am not. Okay, you need to find, a preacher or political or social activist or a family member, right? Your parents, whoever, for that. You know what I mean? Or a friend, right? But not nobody on YouTube. Okay, people on YouTube, they can be here one moment, be gone the next. They can support you one moment and then not support you the next. They can see you as a person that's valuable to you and then kick you to the curb the next. That's how social media works. You know what I mean? And it works like that on a broad scale. You ever heard of gaslighting? You ever heard of ghosting? Okay. All right. So you people on YouTube do that a lot. All right. So, you know what I mean? Because they don't have to. YouTube is a platform where, and social media basically, you don't have to basically communicate with someone. You can get rid of someone just like that off of social media, right? Now that has consequences, right? Of course it has consequences. So if you start ghosting and gaslighting people on social media, and using people for your benefit, oh yeah, it has consequences, but these people don't care about consequences. They believe that because they're making a certain amount of money, or they have a certain title under their name, or they've done certain things, or they believe they are a certain type of person that they can just do whatever they want and use people however they want to create content and get money. That's what they're actually doing it for, right? They're not doing it because they really care about you. So here's the thing. With that being said, you know what I'm saying? Most of these people who do that have never created anything in their life. They never spoke, on a public platform, on a public stage. They never done debate or did theater or done anything in their scholastic career, you know what I'm saying, or anything as far as career or anything in their job or professional career. You know what I'm saying? They never done anything where they had to speak, you know what I mean, theoretically and conventionally and actually reasonable with logic and with love to people. They've never done this ever. Like, this is nothing that they ever done. They see YouTube and it's like, okay, I'm gonna pop on here and make some cash. You know what I mean? And they're gonna use your ass to make that cash. That is their mindset. They don't care about you. Okay? So understand that when it comes to content creators, okay, a lot of content creators are not creating. Okay, they're not trying to create any content. They're trying to create a moment. They're trying to go viral. And they're trying to make money. Trust me, I speak to a lot of them behind the scenes. I speak to a lot of them behind the scenes. They have an agenda, and in that agenda, you know what I mean, they are focused on making that agenda work for them. And
hold tight, Mr. Best. Hey, Sheree, mute up.
Yeah, I know, because this sounds bad.
Yeah, you gotta mute up. Go ahead, Mr. Best.
No, that was it, Big Rig. I'm done. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what I had to say. Like, that's why they do what they do. A lot of them. I'm telling you. Like I said, I speak to them behind the scenes. This is their mindset. You know what I mean? You know, and for those like us who actually want to create real content and actually really care about the things that we do, and let me tell you something, creating content is a process. It is not easy, okay? Creating thumbnails, music, getting people to come on a panel, working through your schedule, working on your own schedule, having your own personal life outside of social media. You know what I mean? It's not the easiest thing to do. It's just not. You know, I think I did like 4 streams today, right? And I had to, you know, plan it out. I had to make sure, because I was behind because my weekend was crazy. I had so many things I had to do this weekend. You know what I'm saying? So when I had time today, I was like, all right, let me knock out this content. You know what I mean? But I had to plan that out. You know what I mean? So it's not something you just get up and do all the time. You know what I mean? We have people who are actually content creators. We have lives outside of YouTube, or at least you should. You know what I mean? At least you should have something outside of YouTube. I mean,
Yeah,
if you
you
don't,
should.
you should.
Hey,
You know,
that's kind of a telltale sign when I be seeing these dudes on particular panels arguing for 15 hours, and then you telling me you high value. It's like, bro, you arguing on someone else's panel.
Don't do it, bro.
I'm just saying, bro, you're on someone else's panel arguing, bro. You're not high value.
For how many
You're not
hours,
doing
though?
anything that you said you was doing.
How many hours, bro?
12 to 15.
But that's my thing. Be easy. Where do they find the time for this, right? If you have all these great grandeur things and you're such this high class person, how do you have the time to be such a high class person and yet be on YouTube arguing about things and disrupting about things that either have no concern about you, especially when it comes to women that you don't like? If you don't like this particular type of women, then just don't date them or have any involvement with them. It's very easy. If you don't like these type of men and you think certain men are a certain way, then don't have them in your social circle. It's not hard. It's just easy. You know what I'm saying? And here's the thing. And I'm gonna say this: if you have any of that BS on your platforms, you will not see me comment. I will not like any of your stuff. Okay. I will not do any of this stuff. If you're a woman, you throwing a bunch of thirst trap pictures and you're in bikinis and all that other bullshit. You know what I mean? I'm not liking none of that shit. All right. I have a woman. Okay. No, I'm keeping a G. I have a woman. All right. So I'm not gonna like none of that bullshit you got out there. You know what I mean? So if it's not something positive or something that's actually beneficial, I'm not liking or supporting it. I'm just gonna let you know that.
Let me break this down, man, with this high value BS, right? Everybody wishes to be this extravagant high value man of high prestige, but here's the thing. You know, the purpose, well, here's the thing. The real notion, right, of being a high value man is a man that really does not have a lot of time, okay, to be wasting his time on YouTube, to be wasting his time on frivolous, like, you know, BS that they be putting out there. You know what high value man? No, I'm talking about true high value man be doing. High value man be focused on embarrassing himself, okay, chasing after his purpose, achieving his goals, and making the greater good for the people that's around him. Most high value men, they're so business oriented, they ain't got time to like spend hours and hours to be talking about the same BS, to be degrading women, black women to be exact. Okay, so it does baffle me when after you just come from panel to panel talking about how much that you hate women and, you know, women are the bottom of the barrels and they can't do this and do that, or all men are ish or whatever because all they do is just cheat or whatever. Whatever the case is, you're not high value. You know, you're not even mid value. You're pretty much like the bottom of the barrel yourself. So I think people, right? If you're listening to this, and you know who I'm talking about you guys. Okay? If you get offended, it's all about you. Intentionally about you. Okay? People just need to focus on getting their minds right. Okay? Stop worrying about what other people are doing. Quit pocket watching. Quit talking about these hoes or whatever that you'll never get to begin with. And focus on just something, constructive, man. I don't know. Go serve the community. Go to a homeless shelter or do something. Do something good for yourself at least. As opposed to just come on these spaces and
learn a new skill, right?
I mean, go take a shower. Go take a shower.
That boy said, "Go take a shower." Yeah, I mean, well, first of all, folks need to be brushing their teeth or something like that, right? Because they be talking too much ish, to the point that their breaths be smell like ish or whatever, right? But the point is, man, like, just do something constructive.
It's oh, I'm sorry, be easy. I'm sorry. That's one thing that I want to talk about. I just want to make this one point. I ain't gonna say nothing else. And that's the one thing we need to talk about. And the one thing I want to talk about is health and wellness when it comes to especially men and just people overall, right? What we eat. You know what I'm saying? Making sure that, if you don't go outside, that you at least open up all your windows, whether it's raining, whether it's sunlight, so you can see outside. When you're around and you see outside and the sun is out, it increases your mood. Right, it makes you better. It makes you feel better, right? But if you're in the house and you have all your shades closed and you have all your windows blind closed, you can be more depressed because there's no sunlight yet. Endorphins coming in, right?
That's a fact.
The water you drink, drinking water, drinking quality water, eating fruits and veggies. You know what I'm saying? Different things. You know what I'm saying? Daily exercise. You know what I mean? Sleep, which I'm gonna get in about and very very soon. Okay, I'm actually gonna push back a stream I was gonna do tonight to get some quality sleep. You know what I mean? And play a little bit of video games, but that's a little bit. But with that being said, right? Reading, educating your mind, allowing your mind to exercise as well as your body to exercise, allowing your emotions to exercise, meditation, you know what I'm saying? Actual real conversations that are encouraging and that are building you up. You know what I mean? So real, I would say theoretical and deep conversations, right? Intellectual conversations. Right, and also what you talk about, music you're listening to, right? The music you listen to, the images that you're seeing, all these things affect your overall health and wellness. You don't think it does, but it does. You know what I'm saying? So if I'm listening to, like, I get on the car, I listen to this playlist called Jimster, right? It's a very high up-tempo artist. He makes a lot of it's like soul electronic type of music, right? And it's a great music to drive to, and it gets you in a good mood as you're driving. It's up-tempo, gets you in a good mood, and you feel happy while you're in the car. You know what I'm saying? Or wherever you're going, or whether you're walking around or whatever. So listening to this type of music, you know what I mean, watching positive things, whether it's different sports or, I'm gonna like to watch Man with the Pot. This guy, he cooks outside. Very, very, very therapeutic. Or Bob Ross, he paints. I don't know if you like Bob Ross, but he paints. You know what I mean? He got the fro. Cool dude. But I watch things that are therapeutic like that, or animal shows. I love animals. I always follow a lot of cat videos too, a lot of dog videos on Instagram. You know what I mean? Because I love
Animal Planet, Shark Week,
all that. These are things that will help you to just be in a positive mode, man. But if you're always putting negativity around, you know what I mean? You're not getting enough sunlight. You're not eating the right things. You're eating fast food, and you're drinking all these type of sodas and all this other garbage. Look, man, it's gonna affect your overall health and wellness. So that's why people come in here and they're so negative. You're like, why are you so mad? You found me eating Burger King all day. Nah, that probably is why. So, you know what I mean? I'm just keeping it real, but that's it,
man. Go ahead,
that
Joe.
Pretty good, man.
Oh yeah, he could tell that I had some things on my mind.
Still there, Joe?
Yeah, I'm still here. You hear me? You good?
Yeah.
Awesome.
You got that blue mic. We hear you.
Speak on anything.
So
yeah, exactly. You got that blue Yeti, boy.
Yeah,
I actually like it a lot. It's really good for music production too. One thing that's on my thank you. One thing that's definitely on my mind is it's definitely hard on a space like YouTube, but this extends to like personal life, so to speak. To say things that just aren't popular. It seems like on YouTube with the algorithm and how everything is set up, there's a certain group of content that people are looking for, And it seems like a lot of people that have more moderate views have a harder time getting an audience, because outrage definitely attracts a crowd. It definitely gets a reaction. It definitely gets comments. It definitely gets likes. It gets dislikes. So it's very easy to fall in those traps. And when it comes to a day to day, a lot of people with current and present issues, or when they need to take a stance, they cower. They kind of hide. And I think a lot of it is because of social pressure of people around you. And it's definitely troubling, I think. And I think people need to be more comfortable with being uncomfortable in this current age. We need to be more willing to stab our friends in the front as opposed in the back. I think everyone could be better off if we told people what was on our mind, or if we had beef, we actually brought it to the person instead of talking to your friends about it and slandering people behind people's backs. I definitely think that as a society we could improve with more more accessibility, more openness with each other, and less focus on maintaining a brand or self-image. And that's especially an issue on YouTube. So, and it's very easy to fall in that trap. Right now, I'm transitioning from a job. I'm losing a job. So I definitely want to focus on YouTube to eventually make money. But in the same way, it's like I do not want to compromise my views. And it would be really easy to make money that way. But, it's crazy to me just how the whole system works. And it's very easy to fall in those traps. And I understand why people do it, but it's something I do not condone. And it's definitely has negatively impacted society. Because now we have a lot of frauds who claim to have the advice to help people, or the knowledge to tell people what our problems are with our government and, day-to-day life. But they aren't really knowledgeable. They're just fronting. And that's concerning to me. It's definitely concerning. That's all.
That's a fact.
Thanks, Joe. Yeah, I definitely agree with that. And the most concerning part is that the frauds are now being held and revered as the heroes or the smart people in the room.
Yes,
But they are
definitely.
they're really the propagandists, right? They're
Mhm.
put there to keep us divided and distracted, arguing and bickering on YouTube while they're picking our pockets, right?
It's called
Joe just
audience
said he
capture.
lost his job. Those propagandists didn't lose their job.
Right. No, they're making
Correct.
bank.
They always have a job as long as they can sow dissensions. Exactly. And you see all the time, whether Lucas and other people talk about it,
Yeah.
when we're doing this, I'm a humanitarian, so I'm about building society in general. But, I didn't make it like this, but every racial group puts their group first. You know what I mean? So I have to look out for my group and my community first, but ultimately I don't want to be reduced down to that because I am a humanitarian. I love all people, bro. I got solid people like Joe,
That's a fact.
that I know. And so many other non-black people that's actually more woke and more of an ally and more willing to stand up, for my community, our community, than some people that look like me. So if Joe ever had an issue with people in Idaho or Ohio, which is some pretty racist spots, not the whole state, what I mean, but the places that I'm referring to are extremely racist. But if he had some issues, I will stand up for him, because if that's what we would expect, why wouldn't I stand up for him too? But basically, the propagandists keep us divided and think that, like Joe was saying earlier, the great replacement theory, that, hey, I'm going to go take some jobs from you, or I'm going to rob your mom so you see me as a criminal. I see Joe as a racist and his girlfriend as a Karen, right? So we just all get into these racial stereotypes with each other that's not even true. When we get on a panel and talk with each other, we have more similarities than we do differences, when people are talking about pulling yourself up by your bootstraps and kids, go look at the housing costs. Joe, you seen Lucas pull up those housing costs.
It's crazy.
Do you think people's kids are,
Beasley, leave that dude
yeah,
alone,
people's
man.
kids No, I'm just saying people's kids is not going to be able to afford housing. You know what I mean?
Yep.
But people are over here pointing a finger at each other, saying the reason why your kid can't afford a house is because some black kid did a drive-by in Chicago. You know what I mean? Like, let's be honest,
Right.
bro. Everyone needs to take personal responsibility. As like Mr. Best was saying, okay, cool. You need to take responsibility for the type of music you listening to, for the type of visuals that you're consuming, and the same thing with the other ignorants that are non-black. Y'all need to take responsibility for your racism, your anti-blackness, for you not being able to see what's going on. The classism is the racism is a smoke screen for the classism, you know, and they need they need token people of every group for this system to stay, to say, hey, look, there's no racism. Look at Oprah. Look at LeBron James. You know, and you can completely disregard how everyone
Right.
else is doing. And I think it was I can't remember which president said, but he said if you can convince the poorest white guy that he's better than the richest black dude, he'll basically hand you his money. You know, I'm paraphrasing it. I'll get the exact quote,
Damn.
but it's true. Yeah, it was Lyndon B. Johnson.
Oh yeah.
That's what they did. Yeah, they
You
played
can. Oh,
on
sorry.
the poor whites and said, "Hey, you're inherently better than." I'm gonna land right here, Joe, so you can pick it up. But they
Yeah.
had the poor whites who, and even MLK had told the dudes, he was like, man, how much are they paying you? And once they told him, he said, man, you might as well be in the jail with me. They've always used, and think about how wild this is, right? They used black people for free labor, which essentially allowed the poor whites to put out a job. They put them out of a job, and the poor whites fought for the slave masters to own slaves. That's right now like your boss saying, hey, we have these AI robots to replace you, and then you fight for the AI robots to take your job. Does that even make
Right,
any
do a
sense?
commercial
Go
for them.
ahead, Joe.
Do a commercial for them, letting them know. You know what I'm saying? We got these AIs coming through.
Exactly.
Oh, we don't need the anti-AI slander here. I'm all for AI.
Yeah, to take your job, and you fight it. Go ahead,
Yeah, I
Joe.
don't know. That's a whole nother topic for another day.
I'm real quick though. One time, Joe, Marcus, if you got a little time, bro, come on and slide up one time, man. Give us your perspective, bro. Go ahead, Joe.
I'm gonna have to head out soon because it is getting late. But
Yeah, no, I
one
already
thing that
know.
was
So, Joe,
it's
speak on what I said, and then do
Oh
like your
yeah.
final
Well, one thing
closing
that's
remarks
on my
after
mind
that.
is I remember this quote from the guy who signed Elvis. I'm not going to use the language that they used back then, but he was saying if I could find a white guy with a black person's sound, I could be a millionaire. And he was the guy who signed Elvis Presley, which rock and roll at the time was primarily it was like the rap of the back in the day, where essentially it was the platform for black people.
You know, Elvis stole a bunch of songs, right?
Well, it's a matter of I don't really like to do the anti-Elvis slander in that. I mean, Elvis did make mistakes, but it seemed like he was definitely influenced by him. So, and it wasn't necessarily to insult them or, put them down. I think a lot of people hated Elvis, specifically racists, back in the day, which is true because he was popularizing the sound of rock and roll, which was created by black musicians. But the outcome of that, unfortunately, is it became primarily a white art form, and that's why people in the rap industry complain about white rappers infiltrating, because of that worry and concern of appropriation. So it's understandable, definitely understandable. But what you were saying in regards to people wanting to point out
Hold on. I have
athletes.
I have a question.
Okay.
Is it appropriation or appreciation?
Well, that's
There is a difference.
There is a difference. I agree.
Because when you're in appreciation, you don't change the names. You don't take it from a booty shot or a booty.
That's kind of why I pushed back on.
There's a difference between appropriation and appreciation.
Of course, that's kind of why I pushed back on Be Easy a bit with the Elvis slander, is I don't think he was intending on necessarily. I just think he really liked rock music as a whole and blues, and those influences were important to him. But Elvis, he didn't necessarily talk or speak out during the civil rights movement, and he probably should have. But he was certainly not a racist and certainly against racism. So I do give him that credit. But what it comes down to is we have a lot of athletes and musicians that are being propped up as representatives of blackness as a whole. And as I've heard a lot of people talk about this, is that a lot of people have a hard time naming black entrepreneurs. It's easy to look at rappers, entertainers, but when it comes down to people actually making a difference in their communities and reflecting the black community in a positive light, people have a harder time naming those individuals. And I do understand those concerns. It's definitely something important. So,
can you name the CEO of YouTube?
Yeah, Susan. Well, she just stepped down.
No, she's not anymore.
Yeah, she stepped down.
Yeah.
Anyways, we're getting a bit off topic.
I'm not gonna always. Here's the whole deal. I will put this in a very simple terms. I remember Disney songs.
Shout out to Joe, man. I seen that, Joe. I like how you did that, Joe. I see you, boy.
Thank you.
I can remember Disney songs forever. Can I remember the actual artist that sung those songs? No.
Well, they aren't. Well, they're often like a footnote if you're talking about end credits. Like, I don't know. It's kind of like when you have an old movie where in a musical where somebody was dubbed over. I mean, certain musicals that had Audrey Hepburn, they dubbed over her voice, and Audrey Hepburn was pretty upset, but it does happen.
You're going way too deep into this. Way too.
I like to go deep into things. Why not?
I understand, but you're going way too deep than what I was talking about.
Hold on, Sheree, you brought up something out of left field, and then you said they going way too deep.
And then
actually,
said you going
hold
too
on,
deep.
Come on, Sheree. Like, let me go ahead and mute you up, and I'm gonna let Joe go ahead because I know Joe got to get up out of here, and then I'll give you the floor to talk, Sheree.
Yeah, sure. I just
go ahead, Joe.
Hopped on here. I was a little nervous because I hadn't seen any of the content on this channel. Didn't know what type of panel was hopping on, but Be Easy. Thank you for having me.
I know.
Fantastic.
I was nervous. I was like, Joe, don't F this up for me, Joe.
Oh, you don't have to worry about that. I'm a chill person.
I know.
I'm respectable. Exactly. At least I try to
chill
be.
up here too, Joe. We real respectable, man.
Yeah.
You know, anytime you want to slide through, definitely do it, bro. You know how we rock, man. It's all velvet.
Absolutely. I definitely will come back. I like this. This is a different dynamic from Amazing Lucas's panel, where you have to cut people off, talk over people to get your point out.
Really gotta over talk people just to get it. I don't really like that format, and most of the time, you know, as Joe knows, it's a lot of rabbit hole, meaningless.
It's a great platform. And a lot of great discussions
we have
there.
A collection of brilliant minds.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we do trail off though.
Yeah.
The drama, but definitely check out the Amazing Lucas. Yeah. I have to promote him because he changed my life. His platform changed my life, and the people there have changed my life. So I definitely have a lot of respect for him. Definitely have a lot of respect for the panel, and you know, this was a lot of fun. Be Easy. I definitely will come back sometime. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, no problem, bro. You know, you got me on the gram.
Glad you had a good time, bro.
I'll be in touch with you, Joe.
Yeah, I'll hit you up on Instagram. All right, later, guys. Take care.
Salute, Joe. Good to have you up here, brother.
Shout out, bro.
Good night.
Peace out.
What's up with you, Marcus?
How's everybody doing?
Marcus, what's good?
What's up, Marcus?
Sheree.
Hey,
Albright, chilling.
yes. Sorry, what?
No, you're good. No, because I heard Big Rig. I think Be Easy, Big Rig, and Mr. Best and Strays. We're talking about something comparing to how it costs and everything right now. As far as is that what I was hearing correctly earlier? Like housing and like.
Yeah, I think the Easy was touching down on that.
Yeah, I was just touching down. I was just using that as a reference point, but the overall topic of discussion is why y'all keep talking the same ish, and we were just going with different angles with it. I know M3 was talking about how people are trying to carry themselves to be high value, and that's the type of discussion they keep having. Some people are on this gender war BS, and then that's the type of discussion that they keep having. Some people are even saying, hey man, I'm gonna keep getting in the gym, man, I'm gonna lose this weight, I'm gonna get the summer body, but then they don't do it. Some people are saying, hey, I want to build up the community, but then you look at their content and it's antithetical to building anything. They have more destructive content versus constructive content. So you can take it any direction based on what you heard. Marcus, why y'all keep talking the same ish? What comes to your mind when you hear that?
I think when I hear that question, saying it the way you just explained it, I think it's just the level of. I think it's just the level of being complicit, but also just being like comfortable with it, and they know that certain topics feed a certain algorithm, and they just know it gives them numbers, it gives them people to chime in, and in a way, I look at it if I ever jump on a panel, I see somebody I know jump on the panel, and the host is talking that same ish, the way you put it in that category, you just explained the description you just gave. It's kind of like giving them free work, free labor in a way, free labor in the way where, if hey, it's very destructive, but in these spaces, destructive drama, stuff like that, just like on TV shows or movies or something like that, they tend to sell. So. Not only are you going to be distracted, entertained, for some people entertained, others bored or just get checked out after a while. And some people find their niche, they find somehow the pocket of success on that, and they try to feed the beast, and everybody somehow has got to eat, especially in this day and age right now where depending where you stay at, where you live at, because I made that comment earlier, on the great example you gave, or great analogy in a way, because it's no longer about anybody who can try to get it. It's about have and have nots. It's about to be even more rough in the next few years before it even tries to get better at all. So when I hear the same old ish and it's not constructive, it's destructive. It's tough to build yourself out of that sometimes. It's tough to get yourself out of that quicksand that sometimes you find, sinking in sometimes. So, and
yeah, because you have to pull the other person out of the quicksand before you can get out of it.
Sometimes.
Check yourself.
And
which, by the way, in a zombie apocalypse, I have no problem with your ruthless, cutthroat thinking. I would totally do the same, including hanging back by my own kid, because, by the way, that has been totally a nightmare I've had. What would you do if you were turned into a zombie and have to leave your kid behind? How would you do it? Where would you do it? Oh my God, so many questions.
You watching a zombie movie right now, ain't you?
I would
You watching a zombie movie?
It's a tough question to answer. I don't know
Lay
how to
off
answer
The
that.
Walking Dead.
Yeah, Beasley. I used to watch that show all the time,
Beasley. And you got into it.
That shit was
and
fire.
you got on Eazily Rigged.
It was.
To say, you know what, the zombie movie is off the hook, and I just had to bring this up to y'all.
Right.
It was
And then
really
she
good
heard
zombie
Marcus
movie.
bring up quicksand, so she put the quicksand in the zombie movie.
And yeah, the quicksand comes from Never Ending Story. You know,
That's a
when
great
the
movie.
goes down and
But
oh my gosh,
that's
Is that the one with like the white dragon?
the
I
white
thought it was
the white dog, flying dog.
It's a flying dog, right? Okay, I'm Martin. I was making sure because it looked like a dog from the face, so I wanted to make sure.
I think the little kid's name was Trejo or some shit. I just seen the movie about 4 weeks ago, bro. You know what I'm saying, on my Fire Stick.
Yeah, but basically,
See, look at what you just did, Sheree. You got me talking
right.
about a Fire Stick. You got me talking about a flying dog.
Can we talk about fire sticks? I would love to play with fire sticks. I would love to learn how to play with fire sticks.
We ain't even talking about the same Fire Stick. See, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, right. Because I got a Fire Stick at home.
Yeah, it just derails and derails and derails.
But be easy. Just to answer your question, though. Hopefully, I answered the best I could. Because, yeah, man. Why people keep talking the same ish? That's probably why, maybe, in my opinion.
I think that
Thanks, Marcus. So
about their own issues when they do is because they're not over them yet. I do that quite a lot, whereas like I'm not over whatever this is, whether it's with like little fallout or whether it's in my own house or whether it's in my dishes. I'm not over it, but I still have to deal with it.
I think Sheree's like the closer, bro. I think Sheree comes up as the closer because it's always gonna be
Sheree, go ahead.
It's always gonna be a whole different like story.
Oh, I
When
am.
she come up,
Trust
you know
me,
what I'm
I'm
saying?
totally different story. I know this.
Yeah, Sheree, so we about to shut it down. So first of all, we need to know, what are you sipping on tonight? It's Jack Daniels? What?
Bushmills. It's whiskey.
I was just about to say whiskey too, man.
And
Jack
I'm
Even though
pretty
Jack
sure
Daniels is whiskey too, but I was just gonna say whiskey.
I do have
Okay,
a tendency to go to my potatoes.
Your potatoes?
Oh,
Shout out
vodka.
to Joe. He from Idaho.
Vodka.
Shout out to Joe.
Hello.
I'm gonna ask Joe. Joe might know you. He probably seen you around the town.
Oh, I would love to see you around the town. I
Hey,
will
B,
kiss you.
didn't this happen the last time you had a show
to check game.
and I was up
Joe
here?
was talking. He told her to check game.
Yeah, I was
don't
like,
take
what's
me off
going
topic.
on?
I said, okay, Joe.
You were saying, though, BZ, I thought you said you were closing out. You want to get final thoughts?
Yeah. First, I'm gonna let Sheree give her final topics. Sheree, I would love to come to your town, but I don't know about the racial demographics. I don't want to get like lynched or come up missing.
Because Mountain of Colorado, Rocky Mountains in Colorado, totally has a problem with that. Actually,
They do,
maybe,
right?
but maybe not. I don't know. I've been just
See,
sitting up in my mountain.
You ain't lying, K-Man. I just seen your comment.
Here's my whole deal. Like I mentioned earlier, compassion is the number one thing.
Compassion for who?
For whatever. Just have
For whatever.
compassion.
Compassion for chickens?
Yes.
When's the
Where
last
do you
time you
think
had
I
poultry,
get my
Sheree?
eggs from? Hello?
When's the last time you had eggs or poultry?
I do get my chickens from my eggs.
So you eating
Eggs from my chickens.
eating
Oh my
chicken
God.
and saying can have compassion for chickens while you eating chicken.
Oh, I still eat my chickens too.
Bruh.
I know you do.
Sometimes I name them.
Yeah, that's pretty wild, Sheree. Yo, you naming them too? That's pretty
Cow
wild.
that I ate was named Kevin.
You
the next time be easy. The next time I eat a fish, I'm gonna call him Nemo.
I still have Kevin meat in my freezer downstairs. Like, I have no problems eating meat.
I bet you don't.
Okay.
I don't eat fruit.
All right. Well,
I
just
don't
when
eat
I pull up,
either. So all I eat is meat. I'm a
when I pull
carnivore.
up out there, have a steak. Have a steak ready for me, Sheree. When I pull up out there, I like mine's medium well. Could you cook that,
Oh,
Sheree?
okay. At least you're medium well. Then I can cook that. Because I'm not really good about doing mediums because I don't like medium to medium rare. I like my shit cooked over a campfire. Thank you. I don't like my cooked
All right, well,
shit.
that's how I want mine cooked.
Yeah. See? Okay, cool. Then when you come over, I can totally have a campfire waiting for you. You want to buy s'more?
Okay,
bring
cool.
some s'mores, be easy. Bring some s'mores.
That's where you come in, Mark.
Oh shit! All right, I'll get some great value. You said talk about high value. I'm gonna get some great value.
Do you see?
Marshmallows.
No, we
Great value graham
Team
crackers.
Kirkland.
Neither do I.
There you go,
Appreciate
Team
you,
Kirkland,
Marcus.
Costco. Let's go.
Thank you, Marcus Kirkland.
There you go. That's right.
Sheree. So, Sheree, we
Yes,
about to
baby.
shut the stream down.
By all
Sheree,
means.
we're about to close this down. So could you give us, before you cook my steak, could you give us some final thoughts? Because we about to close the stream down.
My final thoughts on the streams that I've been watching is number one, I love the way you moderate things. Even checking me, number one, is what I like. This is why sometimes I have to not like be here. But sometimes I still even like chat within your chat rooms. And number one, that's where I want to leave it. Is like knowledge in relationships. You are doing that. You are doing really good things, and I really like it. And this is where I can not finally, but I can feel semi comfortable with coming up and saying things.
Thanks, Sheree, and we appreciate you coming up and saying things. And I know, you don't always come up on certain panels, but you always do come up on ours. So, you don't always stay on topic, and that's why I gotta moderate and kind of check you. But we do it respectfully and politely.
I have no problems with you checking me, which you
And
should
we do
be
appreciate you, Sheree.
Yeah, because we appreciate you, Sheree. You definitely give a very interesting and somewhat inebriated perspective, but we
It's always inebriated. I'm so sorry.
but you definitely are
knowledge
valuable.
and abbreviation
when I'm drunk. Right? That's why they always ask, "What are you drinking tonight?" I'm like, whiskey, vodka, beer, whatever.
Hey yo, be easy. This should be called Easily Inebriated. That should be the new one.
That might be what I have to change it when Sheree come up, and then we'll have to do that. But Sheree, man, it was a pleasure having you up here. I'm about to drop you down so we can do the final closing. But tune in on Tuesday, and you need to get an Instagram or get an email or something, because we
I'll
might.
OnlyFans when I put it up, okay?
Okay, Sheree. Okay, we'll just drop that OnlyFans link, and I'll definitely support. I'll support your content creation, Sheree. Let me know if you need a cameo or something, or some filming or some lighting. What was that?
Hold on, never mind.
Okay.
I went way too deep.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I have a very nice roommate that I can take pictures with. Oh, yay.
Yeah. I'll come take the pictures and the videos. Don't even trip, Sheree. I got you. HD 4K.
You got me.
Yeah, don't trip. I'm here for you, Sheree.
Thank you, Levy.
Your OnlyFans matters to me, you know what I mean? So I'll make sure that you succeed. And so next time maybe the topic will be onlysheree.com, or Sheree's OnlyFans.com. I don't know. I'm thinking of the topic.
Sheree. I'll tell you later.
Okay.
Because I have a whole entire new one. Because you can't do it off of Sheree. Because I don't want Sheree to come back to Little Fallout. little pull-up is going to become back to Sheree. So I can't let that happen. So I have to come up with a whole entire new name.
OnlyFans has entered the chat.
Yeah,
Mhm.
you got to
See?
come with a new name. So I'll help you come up with a new name, Sheree.
Honey, it's called Mistresses of Mystery.
Okay.
My name is Miss Tories.
Miss Tories.
Mist. M-I-S-T.
Oh, Miss Tories. Okay, it's kind of a play
My
on
last
mystery.
name is Tories. T-O-R-I-E-S.
Tories.
Tories.
Hories.
I don't know. I haven't set it up yet, so we'll see.
Okay. All right. Just let me know when you need some assistance helping setting it up. What was that? You kind of
That
cut
was
out.
nothing. All right, Sheree. You have a
I didn't
great
do
night,
anything.
Sheree.
Oh, you too. I love you. Thank you.
R.I.P. R.I.P. Peace
Good
out,
night,
Sheree.
Sheree.
Damn, Big Red cock blocking. I'm over here trying to set up
Yeah, Big
my
Rig.
future
Yeah.
investments and have
Yeah.
another stream. Come on, Big Rig blocks. Come on,
Hey,
cuz.
man, there was just a
Yeah,
little
Big
too
Rig. He
much
was trying to make some
silence.
s'mores. You feel me? Make them
There was too
s'mores.
much silence going on, bro. So I figured it really wasn't gonna
That's
go
what
that far.
that's what I'm like. Nah, it was gonna go that far until you rudely interrupted. What's going on with you, brother?
Hey, you know what though? Be easy. Last time you're trying to set me up, man. Hey, now it's like, go have at it, Be easy. Have at
Hey,
it.
I'm trying to spread the love,
There you go. Hey,
knowledge, and
you take all that.
relationship.
You can take all that yourself. You got it. You the champ. You are the champ. So I'm gonna fall back. I'm gonna rest my masculinity because I'm high value, or I'm sorry, in this case, Kirkland brand. So let me rest my Kirkland brand value. All right.
Yeah, we Team Kirkland.
Well,
Team Kirkland.
Marcus, I needed you. Marcus, you supposed to bring the snacks, and Big Rig, I need you to help work the camera.
I can
Y'all
drop
just
him
gonna
off.
out on
I can just drop him off and you can be good. I'll drop him off.
y'all
You got it.
cold, cuz.
He gonna drop him at the door. He ain't even gonna knock.
Nope.
Friends.
Nope.
How many of us have them?
Yeah.
Friends.
Friends.
I'm like, damn.
Friends.
Yeah, I'm just like,
Yeah.
no
He
love.
said Big
This
Rig
is
hates.
wild,
Okay,
bro.
y'all got me. Y'all got me. That's how we doing. That's how we gonna end the night on Tuesday.
It's gonna be called Big Rig
Shut
Dips.
up.
Big Rig Dips.
God dog.
Shout out to M3 with a well-timed Big Rig
No, we ain't
hates.
gonna shout out no M3. We ain't shouting that out. The hell?
Yeah.
We gonna shelf that comment,
Damn.
M3.
This is wild, cuz I didn't never think you would have done me like that, Big Rig. Just step
Oh, so
in
now
right
he gonna
away.
keep it going, bro. He gonna keep it going. Look at
Yo.
I ain't never thought you would have did me like that, big dog. I thought we
Bro, that's
Yo.
shout out to John, man. It's coming to me now, John. Shout out to you, bro. They done channeled you right now.
Bro, this is wild, bro. But yeah, so Big Rig, you got any closing remarks, bro, before we shut her down?
Yeah, man, I just want to say, man, I appreciate y'all, man. This was another good stream, bro. You know, we do what we do, you know what I mean? And hey, another installment, man.
Yes, sir. Go ahead, Marcus. Take us home, bro.
Hey man, like I said, make sure to catch Be Easy, That Dude, and also Big Rig Slaps host Eazily Rigged on Knowledge and Relationships at K/A/R. Also, make sure you check out their individual channels as well. Subscribe, hit the link, like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell, Cash App, PayPal, Super Chat, anything and everything to support these great gentlemen. Great conversation, relax. It wasn't like any of these other panels or the channels. I'm not gonna name them out. I don't think they deserve to get named out. I think what I like about when you guys, especially in this channel in general, for the most part, it's just a conversation, and it's not like it's either solution based or it's just relax, good time for the most part. Every now and then that's gonna happen every now and then when you get people to come at it in a certain angle. But like I said, I wouldn't be supporting you guys. I wouldn't be watching you guys from day one if I didn't rock with y'all. So like I said, y'all graced me enough to give me a chance not to just be a moderator, but just let me have a voice in the topic. That's a fact, bro. So other than that, man, it's a great show, great content. Yeah, man, just keep doing the great work. That's all I can do. Just support you guys. That's it.
We appreciate you, Marcus.
Thanks a lot, Marcus. We definitely appreciate that. And before we go, she says you are a good mod. You know the topics and try to be on point. We do try to be on point. And Sheree, you know you do kind of be testing my mod skills. Sometimes you jump off topic, but you know you do get some insightful stuff. As weird as some of your commentary is, it is definitely intriguing, right? Because now I'm thinking about what I would do to survive the zombie apocalypse. You know what I mean?
Bring some s'mores.
Like, like imagine I was watching your OnlyFans, Sheree, and then a zombie come in the door. What would I do? Something I gotta think about. So shout out to Sheree. You know what I mean?
Shout out to Sheree, who doesn't like to cook sandwiches.
She don't like to cook sandwiches, but she OnlyFans ready, and that's all that matters.
Sandwiches, bro.
She gonna order them sandwiches from that OnlyFans money. Shout out to her.
Hey, who cares if she cook a sandwich? Because when I pull up, she already gonna make Papa a steak. So forget that sandwich. You feel me? I'm just saying.
Don't forget the steak sauce.
Get like me. Well, Marcus, that's where you come in.
What's that song? Stunning is a habit. Just gotta have it.
He hit the Chris Brown part, bro. Look at him.
Okay, look at Marcus. Okay.
He hit the Chris
Brown
part, bro. There's like a couple of artists on that song. He hit the Chris Brown part, bro. You was the
like
oldest
knowledge and relationships got talent.
Bro. Yeah, something like that.
Okay, we like that, Marcus. Okay, well, you know what? Do you brothers got anything else? Otherwise, I'm gonna hit them with a couple more intermissions, and then we gonna be out of here.
Hey, we out of here, man. Hit them intermissions, bro.
For sure.
Yes, sir.
Eazily rigged.
Yeah.
You are now tuned into another installment of Eazily Rigged. This broadcast will be uncompromising, unfiltered, uncut, and unrehearsed. Your support for the program is immeasurable. Thanks to everyone that has contributed to our growth, you are appreciated. Be easy, dad dude. Big Rig slaps two of the dopest to ever do it, you feel me? Put some respect on their name. Enjoy the broadcast.
Black magic, no voodoo. Get the bands like Buku.
tuned into another installment of Eazily Rigged. Dad dude, Big Rig slaps two of the dopest to ever do it, you feel me? Put some respect on their name.
Okay, so before we dip out, okay, and I see you in the back, brother. Just hang tight. We about to close it out. I just want to just hit a couple of other last things because we see Sheree. Is this Sheree trying to shoot her shot, or Sheree is trying to get what's the letter that come after C? What's the letter that come after C? I think Sheree is trying to get that letter. But it says, I know I do, but that's just me. You know you do what? You want the letter that comes after C? It says make or buy a steak sandwich. No. Sheree is making me a steak sandwich and then she buying me whatever else I want. I'll take a PS5, Sheree. Thank you. She says, yeah, if you show up, I'll make you dinner. Of course, that's mandatory. This is not negotiable. Or make you into dinner. How about both? So Sheree trying to whip up a filet mignon and then she trying to get some, she's trying to get filleted. She's trying to cook a filet and get filleted. I got you, Sheree. So after the steak, are you going to make the steak before or after we film the OnlyFans content? Let me know something. So shout out to Sheree. I'm her new manager and her financial consultant for her OnlyFans. So shout out Sheree. Late to the fallout. No, you late to the platform. Late to the OnlyFans, but you know, better late than never. Shout out to Sheree. I'm gonna get you right. And with that being said, we gonna go ahead and officially shut this thing down. Yeah. Everybody that came, we appreciate y'all. This is the Knowledge and Relationships platform, Eazily Rigged. Be easy, that dude. Big Rig slaps. You know what it is. Knowledge and Relationships.